This is the
All right, guys, here we go. Another day of Worlds 2024. The day that the men of the West rose up and destroyed Sauron, aka T1, right? That's what happened today, right? I think we can all agree that's what happened. Thank you to The Experience Awaits and Akumax JC for your subscriptions. I appreciate you.
full VOD of the matchup between T1
Sauron
and
these
G2.
nuts.
Let's dive into the picks and bans.
All right. What do we got here? What do we got? Callista ban versus Guma. Carry a ban. Why are we banning Braum? Why are we what does this mean? We're banning Brand versus Yike, Aurora, Yone. So Rumble. Right? We're gonna take the Rumble. The thing is that Broken Blade likes to they're leaving the Rumble up because Broken Blade likes to play the Galio, presumably. So that may not be the pick here, but Ori's up as well. You get first. They have to first pick Ori here, right? No, they're first picking Nocturne to take the. I think they're afraid that this could be an Ori Nocturne combo, especially because it's T1.
Wanting to play really heavy attack bottom lanes, really aggressive, double range bottom lanes in multiple games there. Plus G2, we already saw.
So we're taking the Nocturne away right off the bat. So are they going to get Nocturne Ori? Yes, because we're taking Ari Skarner, so they'll take Ori. Yep, there it is. And we're taking the Jax away. Jax priority going up. Gnar not banned here. We're taking Gnar. No. Ooh. Okay. So Zeus has played a lot of Gragas in his career.
And I have a fun fact, 'cause I was
and
just
this is very good, obviously, into Jax, because you can't do anything about
scrolling
Counter-Strike. So this is a super good matchup. You can also body slam out of Counter-Strike range.
Yeah, I mean, he's been absolutely exceptional with his hands on it. I think when you're looking at a combo that is definitely, hey, we want to jump in on top of you with Nocturne, with Jax, with more than likely another engage support for Mickey, having that disengage off the...
So we're basically taking, disengage ult, possible disengage ult here against Nocturne Ori, so they're ready to catch. So what are we doing in the back line? We taking Zai? Oh, that's why they banned Zai. I was about to say, are we taking Zai in the back line? No, we're not. Are we taking Ezreal? Now that Guma's a very good Ezreal player.
See how it goes, but I'm not a fan of this one.
I think Gragas gives you a little bit of damage. You can run.
I guess Jhin is just going to stay out of vision until Nocturne ult goes down.
From in that composition, Gragas gives you a little bit of it. Also, Jhin does give you good control around team fights.
When I've seen BLG basically run this exact same comp against T1, it was that lack of damage because you don't oftentimes have your top side with you when you're trying to play off of side lanes and that. And I think that's where you're really going to struggle here as T1 is in this core.
The thing is, T1's very good at running pick comps, and they can run pick over the wall here. So they can collapse on you very quickly. This can go over the wall, W over the wall, Skarner goes through a wall, Ari goes over the wall. So this is a pick comp. I mean, this is what T1 does. All right, we're just playing. We're just slamming Draven. Guma's going to know how to play this matchup, though, obviously, considering he's a Draven god himself.
So little pure aggro bot lane.
Ooh, we're taking the Nautilus all in. I mean, the thing about Draven and some of these, or Callista and some of these lower range or lower mobility ADCs is the Nocturne has been covering a lot of their weaknesses. at Worlds so far because you got a lot more autos than you would think. So actually, I like this pickup here. Play Blitz. Play Blitz, you coward, Carrier. Blitz is actually a really good pick here.
So lots of dive here. And how is Guma going to get to play this game? There is a Orion and Nocturne that's always going to look for him.
Playernius. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate you.
Because Faker's going to play Ari, and Ari has his own.
Boring. Boo. Boring. Play Blitz, you coward.
Dive there is from G2. I love the fact they've decided to go for this all-in composition. It's taking the fight
Leon does offer more peel, though, so.
On the other hand, do have good disengage, and if a fight gets disengaged, Jin can start to rain hell. Ari's dashing around.
We just love Ari Charm and Jin W into Blitz hooks, so.
Then you've had some good early games, and they have a lot of pick potential on their side as well. If you're looking at things that will make it difficult for Hans to play, Leona Ultimates, Zay's very, very good. Gragas and Skarner.
So they were very ready for this Nocturne Oriana combo. They have tons of disengage. Tons of disengage. So it feels like T1 should be able to catch, you know, if we're looking at this, they have a lot more damage for a straight-up 5v5, but this is one of those games where T1's not going to want to play the 5v5. They're going to play pick, and if the Nocturne engage comes in, you have extremely strong disengage. You have extremely strong, basically, from everybody, right? Jin just has to stay out of vision.
The compositions, we're likely to see one.
Play on objectives, play for pick. Have a good matchup in the top side.
Then there's definitely a possibility there. Doesn't look like very early on.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more Gragas. Like, with the rise of Jack's priority and just lane swaps, Gragas is very good in general.
So I'd be happy with that situation. Gonna have a little bit of a movement now, though. You see him already.
I was watching Travis Gafford the other day. My condolences. My condolences. And he's got a caller that is convinced that G2 will win versus T1. I mean, to be fair, they did almost win versus T1 at MSI. It was a 3-2 best of 5. And if it had been a best of 3, G2 would have won. Just put that out there for you.
We'll have to see how they're going to try and play that one out.
That was an interesting cover. They were kind of.
I mean, there isn't really an argument against G2 being the 4th best team in the world at MSI, guys. People have such a short memory. Like, G2 was very good at MSI.
There. Oh, Mickey. Mickey, Carry is there. Mickey tries to dredge line away. The charm moves him in place, and I don't think Mickey needs to burn the flash here.
A little delayed invade there.
Oh, Mickey.
I mean, this is what are we doing here?
Mickey, Carry is there. Mickey tries to dredge line away. The charm moves him in place, and I don't think Mickey needs to burn the flash here. He knows he's done for.
Well, there goes the Draven lane. Rip all the advantages.
Actually had the slight read on this. They thought that there was going to be a delayed invade. That's why Broken Blade actually hovered over by Raptor camp, but then they felt like it had been too long, and T1 wasn't still going to go for it, but T1...
Overrated team. Overrated by what? Who's overrating them? What are you?
Upset them with the timing.
It was actually something that happened in game 1 of the first best of 5.
They're good, guys. They're not going to win Worlds. Nobody said that, but it's not out of the question that they could beat T1. It's not like T1's been fucking amazing, even at this event, guys.
And they just out-mind game them here. Mickey will get back to the lane. Didn't burn either of his summoners. But that first blood going over to Gumayushi is so impactful for the lane if you can go back and spend that money.
Yeah, even the fact that you just get push allows you so easily to do that. Now that you have that advantage as well, with Hansama being late to the lane, so you get to reset, set things up a little earlier. And as I was talking about, the fact that you have the Leona here actually makes this the more aggressive lane for Gumayushi, because he can look to play on that not only item lead, but the fact he has the barrier as well gives him a lot more trading power in the potential all-in. So I think if Owner is able to get down here off of the resets, I think T1 could look to punish further the G2 bot lane.
And if you look at those junglers, Yike is the one clearing down towards the bottom side, but Owner's going to make a quick move over here because they know that they were able to sweep out Mickey's ward, and he's got a path towards Caps.
Has been trying to pressure Faker in the middle.
There we go.
In comes Owner.
Wow. Did you see that? Unlike all the members of Team Liquid, Caps cannot get hit by a Skarnery on a gank. Did you know that that was possible? Oh! Beautiful.
So smart from him, dodging towards Faker, even though Owner coming behind him, and it's a little bit dangerous going towards the Ahri. He's able to avoid both of them, sidesteps. Smart.
Caps do good, man.
In comes
Does Faker not have
because
charm?
they know that they were able to sweep out Mickey's ward, and he's got a path towards Caps.
Has been trying to pressure Faker in the mid lane. In comes
I guess there's no angle there for Faker to hit the charm. It's actually really well played by
They were
Caps.
able to sweep out Mickey's ward, and he's got a path towards Caps.
Has been trying to pressure Faker in the mid lane.
Like, look at this.
In
See, Faker has to auto this minion because Caps could dodge behind it for charm, and then by the time he does that, he's behind another minion. Gives himself a speed boost.
Oof. Caps with the fancy feet.
So smart from him, dodging towards Faker, even though Owner coming behind him, and it's a little bit dangerous going towards the Ahri. He's able to avoid both of them, sidesteps the Skarner as well as the Charm.
Just nice job hiding in front of the minions as well, constantly sidestepping so that then you're always having some body block in front of Faker. And now,
Yeah,
that
Dag
alleviates
saw
a
it
lot of
too.
that pressure
Oof.
for Caps in the mid lane. Plus, when you look at the Yike, he just continue to farm up, so he'll get a bit of a quicker reset off and can be back on the map first.
That battle in the mid lane is one we have to keep our eyes on. Obviously, both of these
Love
players
waking up to bangers
just
only.
exemplary
I
when it
love
comes
you
to mage
waking up to
play, but
bangers only.
At MSI, it was Caps who kind of got out on top of it, apart from a couple of great plays from Faker. Across the course of their history, you can see Caps actually has the advantage in terms of series, but Faker always comes up in terms of games.
And if you're looking at this year, leading up to this tournament, people probably would favor Caps individually. I think another thing that Gank does in mid, of course, is show Owner cleared bottom side to top side, like guaranteed. They for sure know it. So now it should be very easy for G2 to play around Owner's positioning. Already, Yike was able to steal away top Scuttle Crab because of the mid lane gank. And now Caps just has to hover down to the bottom side.
Faker, Charm Flash, always a possibility. Caps gets Charm, Jike's on his way as well. There's the edge of it style, but doesn't get the stun into the wall. Faker force low. Owner walking away as well. Caps didn't burn anything.
Wow,
again,
so
and
is
the
this
gank
one
is
not
low.
to flash? That's so crazy.
Caps gets Charm, Jike's on his way as well. There's the
Oh, he
edge of it
doesn't
style,
get
but doesn't
stunned.
the stun into the wall.
Ah!
Faker force low. Owner walking away as well. Caps didn't burn anything again, and the gank is low HP.
And it's a really nice job here in the early stages from Yike. He gets the top crab, immediately move bot, gets bot one, covers there on the mid play for Caps 2. And now you're in a position where you've a bit of a nice 8 CS lead for yourself.
Zenith played in. Kevin's going to have to flash away. Hans Summer. One more adoration for Hans Summer on his Draven.
Draven cashes in!
Oh my God, the Azael Growl infected Kobe.
Zenith played in. Kevin's going to have to flash away. Hans Summer. One more adoration for Hans Summer on his Draven.
Draven!
Cashes in!
We're just all doing it now. The Azael Growl is an infectious disease, guys.
Sama gets paid here. That's quite nice. That's really going to even up this bottom lane. Let's see what they're going to get on their timers back here, because Dragon also back out on the map, and then you're already looking a minute ahead of time for the grub swap.
Yeah, very messy sort of skirmish there in the bot lane, but the important thing for Hans Summer on this Draven is he is building up those passive stacks, and if you get a kill without dying, you get that extra influx of gold. You can see he's 50 gold ahead right now, but you have to remember Gumayushi had first blood, so technically he should be ahead if the CS is even.
Yeah, and I think it's just a really nice
Mickey X
job
was just
here
baiting
from,
them by
G2
missing
bot lane
hooks
to be able to turn
and
it.
hitting
He put the
minions
root on
instead.
towards Carry, who didn't have the aftershock in the engage, so Hans Sam is
Whoops.
just able to follow up and get that damage down. And when
No
think back to
aftershock.
when G2 were considered the strongest early game team in the LEC back last year, it was this Draven that so often they would play around and get these big leads, and able to punish T1 on this bottom side and getting this Draven off to a BF
Doctor Who! Thank you.
start in this
Are you a
bottom lane.
Time Lord,
And then
Doctor
there's
Who?
the swap
Thank you for your
for
Twitch Prime
grubs
sub.
Immediately, duo lane going up towards the top side.
Dylan shaking his head. He's like, that Mickey X.
First. I mean, Zeus has Flash, has the explosive cast. Hans has both his summoners as well, but Hans Summer continues to put axes into the back of Zeus. The cleanse away from Hans, flashes forward. Zeus flashes away, will get the slow with the cast.
Where's Z? Where's Z? Zeus gonna have E off cooldown.
The minions doesn't have a ward to play. Zeus can open up and Zeus finds it. A solo kill for the Gragas. Meanwhile, in the top lane, a hook's gonna land onto Owner. Broken Blade looking for the stun. Root goes down as Yike, Mickey, and Broken Blade disengage.
Love that play from Zeus. He lures Hans Sama in, trying to play off of the Draven ego that all Draven players do have.
Doesn't matter if he died. He
Into
just
this
cashed in,
game,
so whatever.
Zeus has a 20-4 record on Gragas. Nice little punish there, but G2 still going to get those topside grubs.
I think the important thing for Summer is, although he burned his flash and his cleanse, Gumayushi had to do the same on the other side of the map. So it's not just he's expended his resources with nothing happening to his enemy AD carry.
I think the play on towards the top side though really helped out G2 obviously because they do force T1 away, which then gives them void grubs. Traditionally when we see the AD carry swap and you don't move your Draven up towards the top end.
He wins if he flashes the E.
When G from the G2 bot side and
Push a
off to a BF
Let's look at the duel.
And then there's the swap for grubs immediately. Duo lane going up towards the top side. Broken Blade wants to try and push a little bit first.
I mean, Zeus has flash, has the explosive cast. Hans has both his summoners as well, but Hans Summer continues to put axes into the back of Zeus. The claim away from
he panics. He might have taken another tower shot there. He doesn't flash.
Hans Summer continues to put axes into the back of Zeus. The claims away from Hans.
Actually, probably not.
Splashes forward. Zeus flashes away. We'll get the slow with the cask. Hans now in the middle of the minions. Doesn't have a ward to play. Zeus can.
Yeah, actually, I think you guys are right. I don't think he takes another tower shot. So if he doesn't flash there, he'd be able to run past this.
Hans now in the middle of the has both his summoners as well, but Hans Summer continues to put axes into the back of Zeus. The claims away from Hans Splash.
Because his flash doesn't allow him to get another auto attack because he has no vision in the brush. So he actually would have not taken that tower shot, I believe, and then just been able to run him down. And so they would have been in exactly the same situation. Oh, if he doesn't flash the initial E? I mean, either way, right? I mean, yeah, sure, he should flash that too. But I think if he doesn't flash here, he still gets this kill. Like, if he flashes either E, I think it's true. Because if he has flash here, he can flash this. And Zeus dies. No, I think if he flashes that E, the situation would be basically the same, I believe.
As Yike, Mickey, and Broken Blade disengage.
Love that play from Zeus. He lures Hans Sama in, trying to play off of the Draven
but you guys are right.
ego that you know all Draven players do have. And again, coming
definitely
into
the first
game,
E. If he flashes it, he wins. Probably the second. Probably the second as well.
Nice little punish there, but G2 still going to get those topside grubs.
I think the important thing for Hans Summer is, although he burned his flash and his cleanse, Gumayushi had to do the same on the other side of the map. So it's not just.
You already know I come around here every year at Worlds Net by now. Just one question: how the fuck are you doing, my man? I'm good, Collier. Welcome back. This will be the last Worlds that I'm covering. The final Worlds.
Your Draven up towards the top end. It becomes very easy for T1 to outnumber and outdamage you in these early stages. But not having the Draven there still worked out for G2, just off of being able to push T1 away.
And we see that classical exchange. Grubs for Drake. As you say, G2 did a good job of getting the prio in the top lane to make sure the grubs were a safe bet. But T1 will happily accept a Cloud Drake for themselves.
What's after that? Need to work on the LFN business. I just can't be watching like 30, 40 hours of LOL esports VODs a week at this point in time, guys. Plus, I want to do more stuff like build up my cooking streams, do the every Star Wars game ever playthrough, move into some general gaming content.
And you had the Gumayushi hitting level 6 in that bot side.
I think the grub buff really is going to be critical in this game too, because both of these teams.
I'll also be streaming, guys. I'll probably stream more.
So if you can get
just not League VOD reviews. LFN business doing too good, guys. Requires more of my attention.
So next spawn of Void Grubs is going to be a banger, boys.
Yeah, that's the important thing. It's the breakpoints at 4 and 6 grubs, right? So the expectation is in about 2 minutes 40 seconds, we will see G2 and T1.
But basically, guys, like to do all the league stuff, it requires me to watch so many hours of League of Legends every week. It's really hard for me to spend more time doing the business of LFN or expanding LFN into general gaming, which is a big priority for us. So.
Making sure they have the
but
top
I will be, and I really at this point in my life just want to work on like building out a cooking brand. So, you know, moving cooking streams to 2 or 3 days a week and like really focusing on that. As well as, like I said, doing my really stupid every Star Wars video game playthrough, which I think will be hilarious and will also help LFN make some general gaming content.
You don't want to have a moment where Owner could potentially play up, have a gank on towards Broken Blade.
But isn't LFN doing really good as a result of watching all these league games? So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I replaced myself on Power Spike 50% of the time with Yamato Cannon, and the viewership has not gone down. So if we can replace Monty on other shows too, without viewership going down, then it's fine.
Have Zayas TP back in, you can get a little bit of more of an advantage for this Gragas, who's already...
What about SI?
Nice
Yeah,
little
we'll
bit of
figure
CS
that out.
lead, or CS and Gold lead, thanks to that early kill. So G2 at least trying to minimize where the summoner spell advantages are for T1 on the map right now.
Keep currently hovering around caps in the mid lane. Faker and Carrier.
As long as SI is you and Thorn, it can't be. I can't do SI if I'm not watching all the games, guys. Show doesn't work.
Longer cooldown than caps. He used it slightly later into the game. Mickey has worked his way all the way up towards topside here, but Zayas already starting to back away. Realizes that he doesn't have too many friends in the vicinity.
Yeah, I think for G2, what they're looking at is trying to get the flashback up for Hansama, so ahead of this Void Grub fight that is inevitably going to come, but you are going to have the flash for Zayas back up, Gumi.
Yeah, right, replaced Monty too. It worked out fine for them. Look, man, facts. LCK viewership is at an all-time high without me. Look, man, that's just true. My replacement was fine.
Corner as well. So as Kobe was already saying, I think this is going to be an absolute barn burner of his crap. And with the rotations already coming through for Zayas moving up here, I thought they might actually try and transition him down to the bottom side so he can...
I don't think people watch you and Thorn on SI for your detailed game analysis. It's the dynamic and takes, regardless of the in-depth analysis. Yeah, but I have to still watch games. Also, maybe instead of SI, Thorn and I will do a different show about something else together.
Up to the fight if necessary, but it may be T1 looking to say Zayas can have more of an impact than Gumayushi in this first skirmish, thanks to the early goal.
Where do I stream cooking? So here, baby, on this stream.
And we may get to see our first, attempted execution of a Nocturne Orianna combo. That is going to be, one of the opportunities here if you're able to draw them over first. As you can see, they're all very early trying to get some extra vision. Mid-prowl turns into vision towards that setup, and Owner already into the river.
They are sending Faker at bot lane. He doesn't have the teleport, so T1 I think need to make some sort of play beforehand to deny the 4v5, and that Broken Blade could potentially TP into. So they're a little bit late on the resets here for T1.
You can always go with the strat of saying, hey, maybe we won't deny you the 4-grub buff, but we'll at least steal away one with a smite for Owner, especially with Skarner, a champion that can go through the walls and get out pretty easily, because Yike's not going to be able to smite all 3 of them, so if you kind of put some pressure there, but now we have the reset, so Faker already back to base, Lucidity boots, and heading out for
it. Okay, so Broken Blade getting a plate on bot side. We're here for second grubs now. This will be the first real engage with Nocturnal. We'll see how this goes.
G2 will start up the grubs. T1 are looking for a Barney. They're looking for a fight here. Mickey looking for that hook. Owner stepping forward, eats an axe. Caps and Mickey standing around the side. Caps low mana. They go into Carrier. Paranoia. There's the shot.
This is a really weird fight. Why are we engaging onto Liliana? Guma's just untouched. They're all dead. G2 getting fucked, dude. Oh no, they're not fucked? Oh, they are fucked. Zayas couldn't actually TP here. Nobody can TP.
Then Yike is able to ult into the backline, take out him.
So Guma takes 4th grub and they just leave it because they have buff.
So our kind of like
very weird engage.
For G2 was at least get 1 Void Might spawn, and they did at least acquire that.
But great play from Zayas, right? Because actually I was about to praise him, but here comes the TP to counter.
Broken Blade has to flash early, needs to keep himself away from Zayas. That flash body slam combination. Faker has no Spirit Rush, does have the flash, but Broken Blade will just back all the way under the safety of his tower.
Yeah, so Zayas going all in on the bot side to prevent the TP from Broken Blade coming in, and this is where, as you said, Carrier gets completely blown up, but Gumayushi stays...
So they wait for Eclipse to go down so that he's squishier, and then they try and engage onto him, but he's able just to flash out.
The TP from Broken Blade coming in, and this is where, as you said, Carrier gets completely blown up, but Gumayushi staying well out of harm's way, and then even the shockwave not doing a huge amount of damage, but look at the suppression coming through from the Skarner, locking up 2 members of G2.
Yeah, it's about the counter engage, right?
Well out of harm's way. And then even
So after Shockwave and Nautilus ult go down, the thing is that two of these people, Caps is just locked up that entire time basically, and then they just start kiting out.
Members of G2, making sure that Caps couldn't have any real follow-up damage. Yike ends up going
Yike flashes, but Faker still has ult charges. We do get a cash in, and the charm hits, but he has cleanse.
But it's still Gumayushi who's able to clean up at the back end.
Captain Flash Skarner ult. Ah, impregnate Briar. You're here with your first message.
400 gold lead for him. Now has the Bloodthirster complete as G2 have set up towards
what a
the
name.
top side, keeping away from bot as well. Broken Blade giving up the ghost on that tower. Zeus going to get hooked in here. Still has the explosive cast and the flash. It's more Mickey acting as a distraction as G2 try and rattle their way through this tower. They'll take the second turret of the game.
Do you take the stocks off Briar, or is that part of your fetish?
5 drops helping them out quite a lot in taking these towers quickly.
Yeah, and the price, of course, that they are going to pay is not only the push on the opposite side, but the Dragon #2 here for T1, which Owner is able to clean up. Faker does not have teleport.
Already used. Zeus caught out with a counter-strike, though, and Zeus is met with the whirling death. The curtains open, and Summer's so low, but Broken Blade can tank that up well enough as G2 managed to escape with a kill. Already used. Zeus caught out.
Only the push on the opposite side, but the Dragon #2 here for T1, which Owner is able to clean up. Faker does not have teleport.
Oh, actually, Mickey redirects the Gragas ult there by using the hook. It's a really nice play by Mickey.
The Dragon #2 here for T1, which Owner is able to clean up. Faker does not have teleport.
Already used.
Zeus used the cast, so he's actually super vulnerable there, and he still got CC'd. It's a good play by Mickey.
Broken Blade can tank that up well enough as G2 managed to escape with a kill. Caps is looking for a little bit more, though. Gumayushi has the flash, has the barrier, and I think G2 realized they can't really dive this.
Yeah, but look at the bot side. Faker's completely pushing in. Gumayushi's still looking for more. Broken Blade would have to place a ward so we can hop on out of there. There it is, but as they went for that engage, Mickey hooked on towards Zeus right as the cast came through, so I think it ended up a little bit more wonky than expected, but T1 are picking up so much on the map.
Yeah, I think the calls from T1 in response to that commitment from G2 were very, very good. T1 did not panic at all. They also did not over-allocate resources. They only had 3 people to defend under the dive, and they're like, it's fine if you kill someone, we're gonna get a return kill and stop your 5-person push. And they just had Owner, instead of coming to try and trap,
they didn't trade for the tier 2 and bot either, so it was tier 2 and kill for Drake.
Also getting that push there, it's these small things.
Watching a playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic would be cool. Hell yeah.
No one else in the vicinity to really be a threat. The game's so even so far.
I know.
14 minutes in.
To 7 plates. A lot of the top side objectives going to G2. Dragons for T1. Rift Herald started by T1 here, though, means that they should be able to get that advantage when it comes towards the objectives. And already, with the pressure that you can have with Faker on these side lanes, I think that's where you can transition Faker from side into mid and look to crack open this mid lane.
You know what? Speaking of like Xbox One era, I hate how Microsoft did this. Not Xbox One. I mean the original Xbox. Speaking of the original Xbox era RPGs, were any of you guys Jade Empire enjoyers? BioWare RPG? I've been thinking about that game a lot recently. I want to play it again.
All hoping to see as well, though. Like 14.5 minutes in, the gold within 100. The difference between the lanes is, well, top side is winning for T1 and bot side is winning.
Yes, because we're all old here, right? We're all just old people.
Zona secures the Rift Herald as well. There's a possibility of a dive in the bot lane, but diving a Gragas is a very tricky affair. Solar Flare comes out, Mickey able to walk out of it, only gets slowed up.
Yeah, carry out once again coming for the defense here under towers. T1 that has been the priority, and now after resetting with Rift Herald, T1 have a lot of options for themselves. Looks like they're going to try and fight G2 off of this bottom quadrant of the map.
I saw this not work out for DK yesterday. We'll see if T1 have a better affair. As there's the suppress immediately, they lock them in. The shotgun coming out as well as Broken Blade.
For this bottom, T1 that has been the priority, and now after resetting with Rift Herald, T1 have a lot of options for themselves. Looks like they're going to...
Okay, so T1 grabs Herald, then makes a move down to the bot side of the map where there's still turrets available for them to potentially take.
As well. There's a possibility of a dive in the bot lane, but diving a Gragas is a very tricky affair.
Yeah, you can't dive Gragas Leona.
Able to walk out of it, only gets slowed up.
Yeah, carry out once again coming for the defense here under towers. T1 that has been the priority, and now after resetting with Rift Herald, T1 have a lot of options for themselves. Looks like they're going to try and fight G2 off of this bottom quadrant of the map.
I saw this not work out for DK yesterday. We'll see if T1 have a better affair. Is there
Such a good cast.
Them in. The shotgun coming out as well as Broken Blade tries to survive. The tower will die, but Caps is low.
Is this where the game is lost, guys?
And Nicky's going to be the first to pull G2.
Because now you lose multiple towers because of Herald.
Baker will find another as T1.
Did I take an inhib here, actually? Do they just take an inhib?
Faker had already moved in towards this bottom side, and the second Broken Blade leap striked in. Zeus was like, "You're all mine."
On him. See if T1.
I love watching Zeus' Gragas, by the way. This is like one of his all-time signature champs. Just haven't seen it a lot recently.
I saw this not work out for DK yesterday. We'll see if T1.
Yeah, maybe not the best leap strike. Broken Blade trolls this.
Looks like they're going to try and fight G2
Broken Blade.
of the map.
I saw this not work out.
Like, they're seen right here, and Jin can affect this fight, and Ari can affect this fight from so far away that you just can't do this.
Have a better affair. Is there to suppress immediately? They lock them in. The shotgun coming out as well as Broken Blade tries to survive. The tower will die, but Caps is low. Faker diving forward, the paranoia on him, and Nicky's going to be the first to pull G2. All hail the retreat. Try to get the hell out of here because T1 are hungry for blood. Baker will find another as T1 find 2 in the bot lane die.
T1 read G2 perfectly. Faker had already moved in towards this bottom side, and the second Broken Blade leap striked in. Zeus was like, "You're all mine." The cask into the blowback and immediately kill him afterwards. Great stuff by T1.
This Zeus Gragas that he has pulled out here looks like he's going to even further improve on his win rate with this champion with how he's playing. He's just been
TP behind. Faker doesn't have flash, doesn't have Spirit Rush. Carrier's going to try and keep Caps busy. Owner comes across the wall with the edge of Idgestyle. Will get himself to the blast cone in time. Faker's still trying to retreat down towards the bottom side, but he'll get out as well. And all the meanwhile, Zeus
God, they got this too. They didn't even have to use Herald Eye, guys. They still have Herald. They won the fight, took a tier 2, took a tier 1 on top. This is over now.
In their pocket. So T1 just got a bunch of gold off this defense, and look at Zeus. He's so smart. He goes for the knockback plus killing the minions. And there's only one melee left, so it's right in the hands of Owner. It's just the coordination here is so nice from T1. They fully reset and they try and punish.
It's also really smart just keeping their damage dealers away from the start of the fight. You can see the shockwave hits 3 people, but it's Owner, Zeus, and Carrier, and it's like, who cares? They're tanky enough. So then Faker and Guma come in later and actually start putting the damage down.
And that's where every single fight we've watched, it's been very difficult for G2 to operate with this Orianna Nocturne combo on towards the back.
Yeah, I have no idea why Broken Blade was like leap striking to the turret there when Ari and Jin weren't on the map. That's so crazy.
The second Void Grubs, everyone was clumped up, so they invite all that to be burst on towards the tanks. So T1 are just kind of setting up for these team fights incredibly well and being able to play through, as you say, the damage dealers constantly being safe and a massive threat in these fights.
I think what G2 really need to leverage right now is this Nocturne's ability to pressure the side lanes, because at least the tower did go down in the end, even though it has been a little bit rough in the last sequence of plays for G2, and they're starting to drop a decent amount of gold. They still do have a lot of territory to work with now, and if Yike can get one more level, you actually get a nice range boost on your ultimate, but...
Solar Flare. Yike puts up the Shroud. In goes the Stinger, and down onto the backline goes Yike. Look at that paranoia. Mickey knocked.
The thing is, Yike actually has no backup here. Where's the Shockwave?
Nice range boost on your ultimate, but...
Solar Flare. Yike puts up the Shroud. In goes the Stinger, and down onto the backline.
Oh, there's the Shockwave. So it wasn't used actually in the Nocturne combo this time. And also, the cask was in the air, so it disrupts everybody. Plus, Broken Blade's not there as part of this fight. And Faker's coming in now. Ansama's just left alone in the backside. Weird. This is a weird combo from G2. Like, it looks like they're getting value, guys. It looks like they're getting value out of the Shockwave. But what this is doing is hitting Gragas, Leona, and Skarner with an ult, right? So as soon as and Caps keeps getting grabbed by this fucking Skarner. How does that keep happening?
And if Yike can get one more level, you actually get a nice range boost on your ultimate, but...
Solar Flare. Yike puts up the Shroud.
It's a nice flash. To be fair, it is a nice flash ult. But the Jin here, there's the backline threat, but he's able just to get out and flash this wall before he gets feared. Caps gets the ult off, but it doesn't do anything because all these guys are tanks and there's no follow-up damage. And then Faker actually just has the flank here from the TP. Landing the cask, though, is huge here for Zeus.
In goes the stinger and down onto the backline goes. Yike, looking that paranoia. Mickey knocked in as well. Gumayushi has to flash away. The whirling death coming out from Hansama. And Faker's on the flank. Kemir chased out by Broken Blade. There'll be one.
Guma actually is doing a ton of damage in all these fights. The shockwaves are really not ideal. They're just hitting tanks.
She was able to escape. Faker has another spirit rush. The charm goes wide. Yike and Caps alongside Broken Blade able to keep on to their lives.
Really nice team fight from T1.
Broken Blade stepping forward into the darkness. Rifttower pushed in the mid lane. That's going to take the tower. And it's only a Chemdrake. The T1...
Unfortunately, guys, I think T1 and Genji have been scrimming, and so T1 is really used to playing against Nocturne right now, so they're really just unfazed by everything that's going on.
Splitting up that fight perfectly in favor of T1. It looked a little dicey for Gumayushi as they had to flash over the wall, but T1, these team fights consistently going their way.
And this one, yeah, Carrier gets focused early, but Carrier's a little bit of a bait. Track this Leona throughout it. Broken Blade ends up having to flash to finish him off. But here's a look at that initiation you're talking about. Yeah, you get the grab on towards Caps again, who just gets caught out. But this looks
such a good flash from Guma because he gets away from Yike and Broken Blade this way. Also, Broken Blade using Leap Strike to kill Carrier is silly. Why are we chasing? Why are we? Whoa, we flash for it. Ugh.
Zeus immediately goes on him. Faker turns on to him. A late cleanse on towards that.
If Broken Blade is actually in this fight, that maybe G2 wins it.
They're getting pulled apart in these fights.
Yeah, we talked a lot about backline threat on Hansama. What T1 are doing so well is having multiple avenues of approach. You can see Faker coming around the back there. You see the initial...
Mondarius, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. Half a year of bangers only. Do you think this is finally Chovy's year? Yes. Yes. Genji wins Worlds. Hell yes. Power to Chovy.
Actually beautiful stuff there.
That's what I want to have happen.
Multiple objectives because of the Rift Trail that we talked about, you know, getting popped from them as well. So now T1 are in a situation where they're going to have a lot of leverage to actually draw G2 to them. G2 really wanted to be in the position this game where they could actually dictate.
What if Zeka wins? Well, at least Peanut would win too.
Coming up, but because of how the last few minutes
but that's not going to happen
for them, they're going to have to be reactive and come up with some outplays.
But it's going to be really tough because look at Faker's build. Hasn't gone for your traditional like pure control mage. He's gone for this split push build where he's looking at the Lich Bane to say, hey, I can start to take structures very well. I can have a ton of threat on side lanes. And it's basically leveraging the fact that Orianna sucks in the side lane. She does not want to be there. She's incredibly vulnerable. And Faker just saying, cool, well, I'm going to push out everything on the map, making it impossible for G2 to try.
We are Gen G believers here on Bangers Only.
And just draw again G2 further around so T1 can continue to put the pressure on.
And I don't want to like inject false hopium into you guys, but
please do.
You might need some right now. In situations like this are when I've actually seen G2 shine a lot, you know, when they are forced to come back in creative situations. Oftentimes, they'll say, fine, T1 are going to be efficient, and they're going to play all three lanes and close in on us, and G2, like, overload one side with the Orion and the Nocturne, and the Draven ult comes through, and they just, you know, commit to picking off one of the points for T1, and then they kind of surprise you with being somewhere that's not completely optimal, but then they're able to snowball objectives afterwards and try and fight their way back into the game or come back that way. So maybe they'll get crafty here and pull off something. Yike does have at least his rank 2 ultimate here, give them a little bit more room to play with.
So what you're saying, Kobe, is G2 are so good at playing from behind because they've been behind a lot of the time.
I've seen, yeah, especially in
recently,
summer.
Yeah.
Recently.
I mean, they did really well versus Fnatic. Yeah. You know? I think T1 may be a different beast, Kobe. I'm just going to put that one out there.
You take the nameplates off and then you replace them with whatever suits your current state.
Imagine if you could do that. Instead of having the actual opponents, you just play. They are looking to make it 1-0 in this third.
Especially because, you know, Dagda is mentioning Faker's build, and Faker's build not only is it very burst heavy, but it's also very far.
Currently, they are looking to make it 1-0 in this third.
Especially because, you know, Dagda is mentioning Faker's build, and Faker's build not only is it very burst heavy, but it's
he's
also
one of the few Lich Bane buyers at this tournament on Ari.
They look for Gumayushi. He doesn't have
Oh, they finally did it. They finally got the target they wanted to get. Okay, this is good. This is very good for G2. They finally got the fight they wanted. They realized that a lot of the peel, especially from Gragas, isn't there, so they just 5-ban it. Yes. Okay, go Baron. Go Baron. Go Baron. No. No! Why did we overextend for a fucking Skarner?
G2 have to be careful because TB coming in from Faker. Mickey dodges away from the explosive cast. Pulls carrier. He'll find him. Another hook's going to land on Tuona.
Why are we trying to kill? Just take the W.
Oh, never mind.
Into the shockwave. They look for Gumayushi. He doesn't have the flash.
This is a Baron, guys, by the way. This is a Baron play.
Find him. Another hook's going to land on Tuona as the chase continues. Zeus coming in with the explosive cast, though. And G2 have to be careful because TB coming in from Faker. Mickey dodges away from the explosive cast. Pulls carrier in. The charm goes right on Summer. Still cleanses just in case. T1 lose one. It's only Guma down. Mickey answered in response.
Oh, Kobe, I was meant to say you're a genius. They get the overload on mid, but T1, they respond so well. It ends up being a 1-for-1. Still, Gumayushi off the map. Might set up more.
Faker has flash. You won't want to burn it, obviously. Broken Blade can just jump across to this wall, trying to dodge away from the charm here. Faker with a Foxfire. Charm goes wide. Broken Blade won't be having any more of that action. Pops the Scryers. G2 trying to set up on this top side now. You can see Zeus pushing out bot, but he's got teleport to join a fight that might erupt.
Yeah, G2 actually drew it up pretty cleanly there. They dropped the top wave, the Faker wave, where Ari was pushing, and they just force on mid. Really what you're looking at is a soul very early on in this game in only 30 seconds. And so it becomes keep sight of the soul. So here we go. Now is the real test for G2.
And I think at least the cheat sheet for them in this test is the fact that Hansama has picked up 3 items. You haven't got the Infinity Edge completed for Gumayushi. He's incredibly close to that. So they might have that small advantage when it comes towards the AD carries. Even the 2 items just can be completed for Caps. Means he's quite dangerous when it comes to that Nocturne Orianna combo.
Solar Flare onto Caps. Faker going in with the charm, only hits onto Mickey. Cut and Call coming out as well. There's the Impale, and Mickey's just dragged in a double counter strike into the shockwave though, and Faker is a down. Explosive cast will separate Caps.
Guy gonna die though.
Zeus on that front line, 3 items strong, and he's trying to use them to their full effect. Owner down to about half HP. Zeus low as well. Hansama trying to open up on Gumayushi, who still has the flash in the end.
Well,
Support
you lost soul.
for mid lane trade.
Good try, everybody.
What a pick from T1 on towards Mickey. The fact he managed to get him out of the
open up on Gumayushi. Down, explosive cast will separate Caps and Hansama up to Caps. Faker going in with the charm, only hits onto Mickey. Cut and Call coming out as well. There's the Impale, and Mickey's just dragged in a double counter strike.
So you may think that the support for mid trade is good, but the problem is the cost was so severe. It cost you like all of your important ultimates, and they just can't fight without Paranoia and Shockwave.
3 items strong, and he's trying to use them to their full effect. Owner down to about half HP. Zeus low as well. Hansama trying to open up on Gumayushi, who still has the flash. In the end, a support for mid lane trade.
What a pick from T1 on towards Mickey. The fact he managed to get him out of the fight means there's very little setup. Doesn't even get to use the ultimate to try and set up, and T1 then get to continue marching forward. It is one back on towards Faker, and G2 feeling they have the damage to fight this.
G2 with no ultimates. Broken Blade dashing in here, jumping across that wall. Owner they're trying to smite the Drake. Would be soul for them. Counter strike from Broken Blade. Here comes Zeus. Flash, Zenith Blade. They look for the engage onto Hansama, who has to flash away himself. Caps is down to half HP. Broken Blade jumps across the pit. And now Mickey's here to bolster the defenses. Faker on his way back doesn't have the teleport. The Drake secured Chem Soul. Now for T1, G2 begin to back away from the fight.
Paranoia back up.
Want any more of this action.
They're all chunked though.
A hook goes down.
Oh my God, Zeus! Wow. You don't expect him to do that. So he's got flash, right? So he gets smited to get slowed, and then instead of going the E onto Yike, he goes for the combo onto Caps. Because they know they can actually chase this down anyway. Oof. Great play. Man, Zeus Gragas. Damn.
G2 took the most dangerous route out of that fight, and T1 were happy to collapse. They're going to be able to move over towards the Baron. I don't think he can go for this as a contest here for G2. Mickey, yes, has the ultimate available, but it's 5 members of T1, and Faker is fishing for the charm.
Hans has the Whirling Death, maybe looking for a steal.
Yeah, Zeus and Owner really heroes this game.
For G2, that wall just outside of the pit, giving them a sense of what's going on inside it. Broken Blade looking for the
world's slowest Baron.
Grandmasters might. Mickey looking for the engage, but realizes pretty sharpish that he can't go for it. Still charmed up. Spirit rush forward by Faker. There's the curtain calls as well, and it's curtains for Mickey. Carrier takes him. And T1 take the Baron. They are in firm control of the game as Hans Summers overstep 2. Hans Summers down 2. T1 6k ahead, a Soul, a Baron, and maybe more of his Broken Blade's charmed. And T1 continue to collapse. The jump away from Broken Blade will keep them safe for a moment, but T1 are knocking on the door.
Dude, Zeus is just the GOAT. He's MVP. Holy moly. He is such a playmaker. You think of the God of Lightning with him, but, you know, God of the Cakes in this game. Really,
Really, Kobe, all you have to say, the joke is, you think about Zeus, but he's really Dionysus. Come on, Kobe.
impressive. Game number
Come
1 here
on.
so far for
It's right
T1.
there.
After the Baron push,
It's
already
right
taking
there.
Inhibitor, they have so much money to spend.
Pick it up off
You
the
have to think
fucking
it's gonna be a
floor.
quick reset for them and right back out to pushing.
They have so much money and so much time. Still 2 minutes left on that Red Bull Baron power play. They've already got 3.5k off it. Mickey contributing to the Nautilus Death Thund. Misses the hook as Carrier goes wide with the Zenith Blade Tooth. Mickey has to flash away. It's another engage tool lost for G2.
I mean, it was a nerdy.
That is too elevated for the broadcast. I mean, I would have said that on this broadcast.
Another death for Mickey. Nerdy going to be 0-8 in this game, but G2 now starting to push out. T1 did stick around a little bit long, so maybe G2, if Faker separated field, they have a chance to go in, but I think it's still incredibly difficult because, honestly, that's only a flank angle for Faker.
Very small window there to engage. They did have a little bit of vision. A TP coming in. Zeus will be the one on the front line. Faker will be the one on the back, but Zeus immediately locked up. You can see how much damage he can tank. Faker going in with the charm. It goes wide.
Also, I'm just going to put this out there. I'll lay this out.
Got 3.5.
Shouldn't Medic
Money
respond
in
with
this
that?
game. Really, really impressive.
Shouldn't Medic respond with that? As in the guy who used to speed run Hades?
Game number 1 here so far for T1.
Shouldn't
And
Medic
after
at
the
least
Baron
know
push,
this?
Already taking mid inhibitor, they have so much money to spend. You have to think it's going to be a quick reset for them and right back out to pushing.
They have so much money and so much time. Still 2 minutes left on that Red Bull Baron power play. They've already got 3.5k off it. Mickey contributing to the Nautilus Death Thund. Misses the hook as Carrier goes wide with the Zenith Blade Tooth. Mickey has to flash away. It's another engage tool lost for G2.
I mean, it was a nerdy another death for Mickey. Nerdy going to be 0-8 in this game, but G2 now starting to push out. T1 did stick around a little bit long, so maybe G2, if Faker separated field, they have a chance to go in, but I think it's still incredibly difficult because, honestly, that's only a flank angle for Faker.
Very small window there to engage. They did have a little bit of vision. A TP coming in. Zeus will be the one on the front line. Faker will be the one on the back. But Zeus immediately locked up. You can see how much damage he can tank. Faker going in with the charm. It goes wide.
Never mind, Zeus just
almost
trolling.
falls to the whirling.
Oh, he lives for some reason. Never mind, guys. It was fucking genius.
Faker dodges away
It was
from the
fucking
hook. Zeus
genius.
going back in, and there's
It
your
was
contribution.
all
Mickey
a
follows the
masterful
shockwave from
bait
Caps. All it
to
can
win the
do is
game.
buy him a second to
Genius
wait. The
TP
flash
from
shot
Zeus.
from Faker.
Genius.
It's all done. It's all over. But the Nexus falling. T1 are going to go 1-0 up.
Zeus can do no wrong. TP's in to what should have been his death, but instead it's T1 killing
That was all
G2.
Chemtech Soul. You guys are probably right.
Mickey going in with the charm. It goes wide.
The first time Chemtech Soul has ever been useful.
Zeus division. A TP coming in. Zeus will be the one on the front line. Faker will be the one on
He
the back.
just walks
Zeus
into all the
immediately locked up. You
CC
can
and
see how much
paranoia.
damage he can tank. Faker going in with the charm. It goes wide. Zeus almost
Yeah, you
falls
guys
to
are
the
right. He
whirling.
did charm caps. That's an accident
Zeus
though,
will be the
because
one on the front line. Faker will be the one on
it
the
was
back. Zeus
nocturnal. There's
immediately
no
locked up.
way
You
he
can see
meant
how
to
much
charm
damage he
caps
can
right there. There's no way.
tank.
He can't see
Faker
caps.
going in with the charm. It goes wide. Zeus almost falls to the whirling. He's alive, and he
Lucky
still has
charm,
the
though.
rocket. Faker dodges away from the hook. Zeus going back in, and there's your contribution.
Caps is
Mickey
always
pulls
after
the
Faker's
shockwave
lucky
from Caps.
charms, you know?
All it can do is buy him a second to wait. The flash charm from Faker. It's all done. It's all over. But the Nexus falling. T1 are going to go 1-0 up.
Zeus can do no wrong. TP's in to what should have been his death, but instead it's T1 killing G2 and taking game number 1.
T1 may
That's a
have
bar.
lived through summer, but this is Worlds.
That's
and
right.
they are
I'm here with the
to
90s
stay.
commercial references, guys. I'm here. I'm here with the 90s serial commercial references. That's why you guys give me your Twitch Prime subs, right?
From Paris and quarterfinals. Mickey gets a kill.
Worth.
This is the full VOD of the matchup between
Monty, most of your audience probably wasn't alive during those commercials. Oh, no, they were. You don't know my
T2.
audience.
Let's dive into the picks and bans.
We've got all the
They're
old guys.
separating out fights to butcher G2 where they stand. And G2, they are opting back into
MonteCristo has a monopoly on 30s to 40-year-old esports fans.
towards the blue side, sticking to the same band. So I'm curious if we get a very similar, hey, we're just going to run it back and try and be better coordinated on some of these dives.
I would say number one adjustment, because
Sarah VV, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub.
they're still, banning the Callista and Renata, but yeah, they add the Skarner here. I think a bigger thing was blind picking their Jax, like versus team.
Thank God I'm 29. I'm 24 and I know those commercials. Okay, to be fair, I don't know how long those commercials ran for.
This team is so good at counter picking because both Keria and Zeus really benefit from it, and so you don't really want to blind pick any of your early matchups and just kind of go the normal route, which is you just go jungle, and then I mean, I guess if there's a priority on one of the Caps champions,
Cadril pushed 300k viewers during the series. Wow, good for him.
Too much there.
Well, joke's on him, guys, because if you divide by 1,000, I had currently have 2 times as many viewers as him.
He has been exceptional.
Think about that.
I was even talking to Chronicler yesterday, and he was saying how happy and thrilled he is to see Owner really stepping up on the world stage. And I think a lot of that has been his counter ganks on the vibe, being able to turn around quick plays. And we saw in the last game how good T1 were with that. So we'll have to see if G2 are able to contend with it as they go back towards the Oriental.
That's some Riot broadcast map. I know. I'm learning from Riot how to manipulate broadcast numbers so they sound good.
The blind Gnar in the top lane instead.
I do think Gnar is a better blind. Like Gnar has been so versatile.
Yeah, who would have more viewers? Cadril co-streaming or MonteCristo VOD reviewing divided by 1,000 times 2?
And we've seen so many, very strong Gnar so far at the tournament. We'll see if that's enough of
So what I'm saying is LCS viewership went up, guys.
an adjustment.
That's what I'm saying.
The Rumble, if we want to see that from Zay.
That's how you make LCS viewership number go up.
In the top lane, went all the way through picks and bans in game 1. Jax as well. It's more of a
Also, your China numbers are represented. That's right. Nobody knows what my Chinese stream numbers are.
Jax will start to take it over as the game goes on.
Personally, I do like the Rumble with the Vi, just because you do get that equalizer Vi-ult combo, but they're going to go back towards the Jax and try and have more of a threat on towards the side.
All right, very funny math aside, we're doing it again, guys. We're just drafting the same comp that we did last time, except this time we banned the Skarner. We said no to Skarner. T1 intentionally, or G2 intentionally picks blue side again, so they're going to take the Gnar here, and we're going to respond, I guess, with the Jax. Same style of composition as a pick comp from T1. Obviously, they're just taking the Vi.
Which can always work out incredibly well, especially.
We're just going to take the Jhin again. Is this going to be the same game?
A lot at MSI for Shield. So the prevalence of lane swaps, there's always the possibility the Poppy just gets to be out on the map and you've lane swapped away from it, right? So I do get you. I think
but
Poppy
it's only
is
for a short while.
true.
Right? So
I think Poppy is more specific for counter matchups, but you already have 3 dashes on your team. You try and want to stop the Poppy from having too much impact. There's the Xayah band away. G2 once again looking for that dive onto Gumayushi strategy.
Exactly. They're very clear about this. They're trying to ban out anything defensive for the bottom lane. G2 really want to go very aggressive down there.
Yeah, the Xayah pick does go super hard here.
On their own terms, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be the same shit. It's literally the same style of composition. They're trying to get more dive this time. So G2 was like, you know the problem with last game? We didn't have enough dive. You know, that Draven, it was cool and all, but what if we just had more dive? Gumayushi will die this game, they have decided.
In the lane as well can get the push without a Cathy and Rain, and now Mickey. Oh, we're going back.
This is just so.
It's literally the same shit. It's the same exact shit, except instead of Skarner, they have Vi. But Vi is. So the thing about Vi is Skarner is better at counteracting the dive because he can catch with his ultimate, right? But Vi is better at creating picks. And also they have side lane pressure now. And that's the big thing is the Jax can split in this game, whereas that wasn't true. So last game, they could still run picks, but they couldn't create pressure and then go to that side lane to create the picks. They had to wait. They had to control vision and wait for G2 to walk into them and ult into them. So actually T1, with this composition, they'll be less good at countering the Nocturne Ori engage, but they will be better at actually creating proactive pick plays in a side lane. So that's the difference here for T1. But there's more dive here. The Draven was pretty useless in the end, so the Kai'Sa will put more pressure onto the Jhin. So T1 should never 5v5, is what I'm saying.
And set up on those team fights. This time around, T1 do not have the Gragas cast to disrupt G2, and they are still going to be.
So we'll see if this Jax can get ahead early.
This sort of point, we all know, NRG beating
G2 is going to have less of a bully lane in bot side, though, although that was thwarted by Mickey X dying at level 1 last game.
I mean, you shouldn't be. NRG played better.
Honestly, though, on your point for this T1 roster too, remember back to last year and their run and all of the interviews talking about, they thought that this roster would even break up, probably. So I've just been so happy to continue to follow this roster throughout the year, and for them to really start peaking again here at Worlds again would just be such a cool story for them. Let's see about the level 1, though. That was not a cool story for Mickey last time. He's getting the heck out of there.
Yeah, I do think, though, like T1 was kind of on everyone's bingo card as the team that was probably most favored. Again, played for
your handbags, just trying to get that extra health.
Yeah, and of course my favorite part about standard lanes, non-lane swaps, is that junglers actually get more choices. And you have a lot of options. When the bottom lanes like this, from Champ Select, you're just are so willing to make it spicy. And then you also have a top lane matchup like Jax Gnar, where...
Okay, Zeus hit. Let's take a look at how this top lane's going. So basically, can't see the entirety of the top lane, how this has been playing, right? But from what we do see, so Broken Blade has been focusing on trying to trade with Zeus, and Zeus has been more focusing on the hitting the wave, and so he's actually able to hit level 2 first here.
My favorite part about standard lanes, non-lane swaps, is that junglers,
and therefore he has Leap Strike, Counter Strike, and he can go in for that extended trade versus Nara. Doesn't have Hop yet.
From Champ Select, you're just are so willing to make it spicy, and then you also have a top lane matchup like Jax Gnar,
Get a grasp
where Zeus
proc.
is trying to harass early on, push the wave, chunk the mini Gnar while he's very vulnerable there. I just feel like there's so much more skill expression for junglers in particular during non-lane swaps. That is just it's just more exciting skill expression.
There's a lot of skill expression in PvE. All right, you can do a lot to get your.
There is skill expression in lane swaps as
wow.
well. It's just very different.
Charm?
With the Vault Breaker, Caps doesn't
have Charm. Faker doesn't have Charm yet.
All right, you can do a lot to get your.
There is skill expression.
He has QW.
In lane swaps as well. It's just very different.
So there's actually no synergy here. Caps he knows he doesn't have Charm, so he doesn't flash.
The TP to get back that wave, not in a good state for him.
And this is what I was talking about from draft. It's significantly easier for Owner to, again, just go for this transitional gank, pick off Caps, and completely turn the lane in favor of Faker. And now it becomes incredibly difficult for G2 to try and set up, because Yike wants to just free farm until 6. If you end up putting pressure on towards mid lane as this Nocturne...
Did you watch the video about T1's chef that came out earlier today? I did not. Maybe we'll watch that after this game. I don't know what you're talking about.
On the chase. Faker here might have to flash because Yike is looking for that fear. It's the red buff slow, but he doesn't know where Owner is, so has to back away.
Exactly. You can't over chase in those situations.
The level 3 Nocturne gank, so good.
Lane brush, and so it is in the end gonna be the advantage there with the flash. So we'll see about repeat ganks, because the #1 most
Faker in as this Nocturne and Owner shows up, that could be an absolute disaster. But
Caps does have an issue here, though, where Faker did zone him out on some XP. Faker's like half a level ahead now because of that gank.
So nice early.
And
away from the charm.
He does flash away from the charm because he doesn't know where Vi is.
Out from Yike for a little bit of extra movement speed on the chase. Faker here might have to flash because Yike is looking for that fear.
They're really afraid of where Vi is. I mean, they know Vi is somewhere on the bot side.
Exactly. You can't over chase in those situations, running past those mid lane brush, and so it is.
He didn't level Fear. He had 2 points in Q. Ooh, you're right. He doesn't have his E. That's not great. That is not great. Good eye there. A Red's word day.
It's the red buff slow, but he doesn't know where Owner is, so has to back away.
Exactly. You can't over chase in those situations.
A red sword. Oh, it's a red sword day. I'm good at this, guys. I can read your names. Don't worry.
Lane brush, and so it is in the end gonna be the advantage there with the flash.
What makes it a red sword day as opposed to a green sword day?
Flash, so we'll see about repeat ganks because the #1 most obvious thing in the entire game is Vi plus Ari. Level 6, guess what? You're dead. And now Caps does not have his flash. We'll see about the timer for it to come back up, but that is a huge, huge alarm that goes off and kind of changes your mid lane vision priority. Like, you constantly have to keep track of it. And even look at this path from Owner, who sweeps around through the tri-brush to come steal away your second Raptor spawn. Whenever mid lane matchup is a big point, the mid lane steal away of Raptors for junglers is always a very, very high objective, because that allows you to continue to camp around mid lane without dropping resources.
Owner looking for that gank once again. Caps on dissonance himself and has enough movement speed to get back to the safety of the tower.
Yeah, Faker was pushing at the wave. He wants to try and reset, but I was a little nervous when I saw Owner taking those Raptors, because immediately you can just go in towards that mid lane, and if Caps is trying to play aggressive to deny Faker's reset, that could be where he punished, but didn't end up going that too far forward, and now it's Owner moving back up towards his top side for his own camps respawning to make sure that he's going to keep this little bit of a camp lead thanks to that Raptor steal.
Yeah, and of course, Yike on the opposite side.
What happens when enemy team bans Ari versus
Similar
Faker?
stuff there. They got the ward.
He picks Ori.
Spawn of T1 Raptors.
They would
So
pry
it
Ori,
will
I'm
see
pretty sure.
Owner's positioning.
I think Owner, Zenith Blade's going to go on to Mickey here, tries to dredge.
But I think they're only prying Ari because the Nocturne was first picked blue side. And G2 came in with this like insane Nocturne priority. I would not have picked it again this game, because I think for G2, the problem really wasn't an execution problem. It was that T1 seems very comfortable playing into the Nocturne pick, both in terms of draft and in terms of the way they're playing in game.
Pushed in. Hans, I think, right call to stop the reset and actually pick up this wave, because Owner is going to be on that top half of the map. But yeah, I think this is still a nice little win for the T1 bot lane in the 2v2.
Yeah, much better than game one for them. We did see Owner topping the stats for most of the junglers here at Worlds so far. I think coming into this series, Owner would have been my standout player for T1. Zeus, after game one, kind of puts his name in the hat as well. But Owner, I think, has just been so consistent for T1 here at Worlds.
Especially on the Vibe pick. Like, you think back to their game against BLG, where BLG were consistently trying to make plays on sides, but as Owner showed these early leads or
T1 sending Zeus down towards the bot lane, where Caps has gone to try and push out that wave. G2 brought Hans and Mickey into mid to try and get the shove there as well. The problem for G2 is if they do look for an engage, Zeus still has the TP, where Caps does not. So this could very quickly turn into a 5v4. Broken Blade very low on rage as well, starting to build it up as he jumps onto Owner. He's only a third of the way there so far. Owner going lower though, Dustbringer coming out, double flashes, Mickey with the flash hook. Meanwhile in the bot lane, Caps is trading up with Zeus. Carrier going back in, Faker with the Spirit
Getting some
Rush.
damage down using Charm and Deadly Flourish.
Can look for another Spirit Rush, another Orb of Deception. Won't find too much more. G2 start up the grubs. They're quite hurt though. Half HP on Yike. Broken Blow building up towards that Mega, looking for an arm into the wall if anyone advances through that choke point.
I love G2's calls there, playing for damage. You saw Caps down here actually poking out Zeus, and then immediately jumping on the two separated in river to just play for some health bars to be able to get yourselves the objectives first. The small...
How hard T1 were fighting to try and come in. And T1 were trying to be sneaky against Broken.
Good grub take, good grub take.
Yushi on this Jhin, and they really start to come online when they get that first item, second item. Now both level 6 on Owner and 7 on Faker means they have that cease and desist Spirit Rush combination. Caps his flash back up for G2, makes him a little safer in a side lane. Doesn't have the TP yet though, and it looks like he's going to shove out one more lane on the bottom side.
I mean, I'm not even trying to give you guys coke.
Don't do it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
we want good League of Legends.
No, you're off. No more talking.
Shox told me to, but I legit actually prefer the G2 comp side with the small adjustments that they made in this game. So because they have the actual versatility of the Kaisa for later, and because this time the top lane matchup is Gnar versus the Jax instead, doesn't have to worry about the disruption from the Gragas. I actually really like the little adjustments here. So for the sake of the fans as well who want more excitement,
I mean, it would be much more exciting if G2 are able to take this game, and obviously, as LEC casters, we are slightly biased in that regard, but continue to watch the game.
Where are the LCK casters, by the way?
Will be able to get the Drake. G2 really shouldn't fight this because
where are they?
TP'd up to the top lane only a few moments ago. If they try to invest, obviously Zeus can join the battle. and they would be at a numbers disadvantage again. They won't battle against it. See Yike just hovering Hansama and Mickey in case anything does happen, but with Guma and Carrier backing away, just going to be this wave getting shoved out.
Big question will be, can T1 with the Ahri plus the Vi here find themselves a pick? Already, you see the bottom lane moving up. One of the biggest objectives when you do have Vi Ahri is to try and control the vision between the river here, so you can have these alleyways where you go for those picks and then you get to turn them into extra pressure on the map. And so Keria and Guma also doing their part in that, trying to keep it clean from bottom lane. You see the control wards all the way up through the river, warding up here too as well.
Towards caps with the curtain
Super
call,
slow
especially
game.
when you've only got 50 seconds until those void grubs are up, but it looks like they're just going to shift Faker up towards that top side. I wasn't sure if they just went all in on trying to burn that flash, but Mickey.
Oh, Faker goes in with the Spirit Rush, the charm landing as well, and Mickey is done for. First blood in the first 2 games. Mickey
All in on trying to burn that flash, but Mickey.
He's trying to get vision down for the second grub spawn, but you have to respect. I mean, you have to respect the Vi Ahri combo, and especially when you have a ward here, guys. You have a ward right here. You see that the Vi is here. You know they're rotating Jhin into mid lane and probably putting Ahri top lane, and you see Keria here as well. So Mickey's just not respecting. I mean, they can come over the wall on you.
All in on trying to burn that flash. It looks like they're just going to shift Faker up towards that top
I mean,
side.
they see people wandering around here on the ward.
That flash, but Mickey.
Oh, Faker goes in with the Spirit Rush, the charm landing as well, and Mickey is done for.
I fear it's looking like a 3 LCK semifinals. Ah, that would be such a bummer, guys. You know, for the last Worlds that I do, it surely would suck to have 3 Korean teams in the semis. What a bummer.
There, but also, you know, props to Mickey keeping up with the Nautilus Death Fund. That's one more for us. I do as well have that.
Double ults burnt. Like, you've now burnt both Faker's ult and Owner's ult right before the Void Grub spawn. So I'm not going to say it was a planned good death, but could actually work out as a decent death here for G2 when they do actually go to try and contest on towards those next round of Void Grubs.
It's interesting because Broken Blade doesn't have teleport, but Owner's actually heading towards Broken Blade rather than the Void Grubs.
Yes, looking for this play down towards the bottom side. Broken Blade flashes immediately met with a fist in his face. Broken Blade trying to get away from this. Obviously, has to try and escape from Owner, who flashes forward. Another Vault Breaker. Broken Blade trying to dodge it. Owner holds it forever. Owner in his face. Broken Blade trying to get away from this. Obviously, has to try and escape from Owner, who flashes forward
rather than the Void Grubs.
Yes, looking for this play down
when they do actually go to try and contest on towards those next round of Void.
So again, this is the exact kind of play that T1 wants to make, right? Again, collapsing onto the side lane where Zeus is. Broken Blade should not be proxying in this situation. But the reason why he's doing it is that Owner is being super tricky here, by the way. Okay? Owner's being super tricky. The grubs are about to spawn. G2 has 3 grubs, right? They're thinking T1 wants to go for these grubs at spawn, right? Especially because Mickey X is dead. So he's not expecting a Vi gank when grubs are about to spawn, which is why he proxies to put on pressure here. And Owner just mind games him, man. Especially because they know Owner doesn't have ult right now. Like, why the fuck is this Vi coming down with 10 seconds left on grub spawn?
Broken Blade doesn't have teleport, but Owner's actually heading towards Broken Blade.
So Broken Blade, I think, does the correct play, but he finds a Vi.
Broken Blade trying to get away from this. Obviously, has to try and escape from Owner, who flashes
Flash
forward.
E, flash auto E, Vault Breaker. He's so tricky. They give up grubs for that though. But you're empowering the Jax, which is crucial here. So you actually are sacking the grubs, and Yike makes the play to cross map. But how many plates are we getting? This Jax is gonna get scary.
You put everyone on pause. Wait, you said that.
No Ahri Vi ult for grubs too, so good to play cross map. Yeah, Mickey's up, right? Mickey is up, and he's already on the map and at grubs. So your choice here is Broken Blade's putting on the proxy. Are you really... The question is, because of the timing on Mickey's death, he actually makes it back for grub spawn. So are you really going to fight without these 2 ultimates? The answer is no, so Owner makes a different play to punish Broken Blade and to give Zeus a gold lead.
Escape from Owner, who flashes forward. Another Vault Breaker. Broken Blade trying to dodge it. Owner holds it forever. Owner finds another as Broken Blade can't
So
escape his clutches.
T1 is going to
There
get
was
2
no escape
kills,
there.
and we'll see how
Owner
many
waiting
plates
over
in
the
exchange
wall.
for the
Broken Blade
grubs.
tried to sidestep it, but good call from Owner, just hold on. But still on the opposite side, Void Grubs galore, and it will be, I imagine Zeus starting to put a bit of pressure.
So,
It has
if
to be
I mean, the
something
6
Turtle
grub
Faker,
buff
no
is
way
obviously
he can
very
actually
strong. So it depends on what they can get for the grubs.
You put everyone on
Figures
pause.
the wall.
Everyone's like,
Oh, Mickey looking for the hook here. So Yike can come in with the paranoia. There's the depth charge as well.
This
Chase
charm.
Forward. Kerry has joined his mid laner. Faker flashes away. The ignite ticking on him.
Oh my God.
They break into the solar flare into the death of Yike. Rob, your no was heard around Europe. They were so close, but they just couldn't quite find the damage to kill off Faker.
Oh, I'm heartbroken. We were so close. Mickey, though.
Another
They do
Zenith
get
play.
plates topside,
Owner has
though, with
ceased
the
and desisted, but I
6
don't
grub
think
buff.
She might just be coming off cooldown. Decides against
And
going for
we
a T1
lost.
to the top lane
Zeus
by
got
Faker
3
as
plates
well.
bot side.
G2 will walk away
So
wounded
gold
and
lead actually
1.6
expands as a
behind.
result of that play
Oh,
for
man.
T1, but
Faker with
the
one of his
possibility of
getaways.
coming getting more gold because of the
Mickey should be able
you
to
know, you
get
got
out
a minute
here,
and a half
with
left
just a
of
drop
plates,
steal for Owner,
so
but
maybe you can
man,
get some more and
another
close
one.
that
This is a
gold
big
gap
investment,
with the
too,
6
as
grubs.
we'll take a look. You mentioned the ultimates used to kill Mickey. Now it's kind of the reverse situation, and Faker did get that little, sight of Mickey. So good vision toggle by the observers.
And then the engage comes through from Mickey, and it's a nice setup. Carry here to try and help.
Misses his charm, though.
One side,
Oh, Zeus flashes away. He's hit with a house. And Caps and Broken Blade find a kill. Carrier is looking to collapse here as well as Gumayushi, but this tower is already
He was
quite low,
actually
down
hit
to
by a Sputnik.
1 plate remaining on it. Carrier going in with the Zenith Blade. Gumayushi there with a deadly flourish as well. Broken Blade still pretty tanky though. Yike's here to join the fray. Has the paranoia. Can't go into Guma, but there's a flash and a barrier on that AD carry, making it a little bit more suspect to go for the dive. Mickey and Hansa
all
are starting
coming.
to collapse, and this will be first tower over to G2.
Faker even dropped off that top tower, trying to move down.
Our
to
good
maybe
friend
cover the
Butt
mid lane,
Pounder
so then G2
420
kinda was
asks,
pushing towards mid as well, but so
Monty,
much of
why
this
does
early
it burn
game
when I
has been
pee?
about these
Well, my
cross
friend,
traps, the void grubs for the bot player towards Broken
you've been
Blade,
pounding
getting a
too
ton of
many
plates on
butts,
towards Zeus,
and you've got
and
the
then you
clap.
see Faker in the
I
top
hate to
half
tell
of the
you.
map, so G2 make the bottom
I'm sorry you had to
half
learn
play,
like
but
this
now,
publicly
because
on my
G2
stream.
are on the bot side, Zeus TP's top to get the top turret as well. A huge amount of this go back and forth thanks to these plays.
Still, I think it's a hugely beneficial kind of response from G2 because they get their bonus first turret gold as well, and those are the types of plays where you really want to see the reset and kind of
Zeus is getting
setup for it
more
on
and
the
more
other side,
cash,
but
though,
they
and his
jump
split
on
push
it
is going to be
and they
very
get the
scary.
small benefit, even though they have had a couple of speed bumps here, are able to get a little bit more gold.
And now you've got first items almost completed across the board. It's only B
Could be a UTI. Strange Loops, who's the doctor here, me or you? All right, shut the fuck up.
who has that reset that he can go for and the teleport back in, but I'm curious now what you want to do. Both Dragon and Rift Herald up and available. I think T1 going to focus up towards Rift Herald, which is probably right against the Chemdrake, and G2 going to see maybe if they can make some sort of play, but there's no tower for BB and he's so far extended.
See the lane economy snapshot brought to you by MasterCard. Very much in favor of Owner. No big surprises there. Broken Blade trying to hide in the top lane. He's going to TP away. Will he escape? You can see it on the minimap. The Counter-Strike finds him alongside the cease and desist, and Broken Blade doesn't have a hope in hell of escaping this one. Zeus leaps on his base.
You see, Owner's just going to play into Zeus's lane now for the rest of the game.
Such a bounty on.
It's actually huge. This is a very good trade for
Not in a
T1.
literal sense, but they've got a target on his back. T1
I really like
keep
them
on
taking
going
the
for these
Herald instead of
assassination
second Drake
attempts
here
on
and
the
getting the
Broken Blade. It's
picking
almost
up the
like
kill
when they gave up the
because
6
they are just
grubs,
going to keep
they were
accelerating, and this Herald could help Broken Blade or Zeus get tier 2 local gold.
While we did give up the 6 grub buff, we killed Broken Blade when we did that, and then we're going to keep looking for kills on him. And
Who is the
try
best
and
player
really put
from
that
game
guy behind
1?
to the
Probably
point
Dr.
that
Zeus.
Zeus is going to be able to control side lanes. Baker is going to be able to
Another
get
charm
picks.
hits once again. Mickey thought he was safe in his own jungle, but there was
I think people will put a lot of heat on Mickey, and
Really
it's not
put
like
that Narva
Mickey
on.
has definitely had some suspicious plays, but also nobody wants to think about the fact that T1 is running pick comps in these games, and somebody has to go get vision at some point, guys. You understand that, right? And T1 is the best team in the world at playing pick comps. You know what pick comps do? They make picks.
To the point that Zeus is going to be able to control side lanes. Faker is going to be able to
Another
get
charm
picks.
hits once again. Mickey thought he was safe in his own jungle, but there is nowhere safe from T1. And this is the moment in the game, in game 1, where we saw T1 begin to explode it away from G2's grasp. You can see already 2,500 gold ahead. Now with the Rift Herald charging through mid, they're going to open up the map and make it so much more tricky for G2 to do anything. Charm wide there by Faker, but he's just creating space. The solar flare hits. Hans Summer has to burn the cleanse, and Zeus.
Look at that. Carrier missing his flashy.
Hans Summer flashes it. Rift Herald charge forward. Zona can jump across that wall and look
What
for
a
Hans Summer.
noob.
Just creating space. The solar flare hits. Hans Summer has to burn the cleanse, and Zeus is on the flank.
Shout out to Vi using the Herald to get knockups instead of actually getting the turret. If he hits the turret here, by the way, guys, they just take the turret. They take the turret. This is a really stupid play by T1. That is a really stupid E by Carrier. This whole play is stupid. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Okay? Look at the start of this play, right? We already killed Mickey X. We have a full HP Herald that can charge onto this turret. We're covering. We're covering with Jhin ult. All right? We're zoning them off the turret. We're zoning them off. We're zoning them off. We force Hans' flash out. If we just hit this turret, guys, if we just hit this turret, using the Herald, we take this turret. But instead, we dive giga deep. Owner's inside the jungle for some reason. Zeus dies. And then Carrier goes in to zone out for his team that's way too deep. The Shy Guy, welcome back. Thank you for tier 1 sub. How much money does a Bronco have? $1. Oh, we're back with the terrible jokes. You love to see it.
Dive and dodge in the darkness away from everyone was beautiful, and it meant that they got the turnaround on Tercaria and Zeus, even with Mickey missing the flash hook.
Yeah, Zeus wanted to play the tether range on the fear there, and he was just a little bit off and got locked in. Nice shockwave from Caps ended up getting him, but here's another look at the start, and they're trying to go for the dive. They even get the Rift Herald knock up there.
So stupid. It's so stupid. Like, you also know that Nocturne still has ult and will press it on the dive, so just go for the turret.
Zeus does not quite break the tier feather, and that is enough to allow
Broncos
Caps
looking
to get a
decent.
good shockwave.
Agreed.
Then you have the desync from T1 as Carrier goes back in, while the rest of them are
All
away.
thanks to the
It still
defense.
actually cost
Shout
them
out to the one
life
true
upon Sama,
defensive
though.
god,
So in the
Pat
end, it was
Sertan,
just a little, like, one
and his
extra
teacher,
kill.
Vance
And both of
Joseph.
the summoners from Hans Summer as well. Zeus has his flash, has that counter-strike for a next engagement. 2 minutes 50 on the next Drake means it's likely to be a little while before we see that battle beginning.
I will say, though, for G2, even though it is just some gold, it is into the hands of Caps, and that's where exactly where you want it. The big shockwave plays are going to be the ones that you need. to
Monty,
try
would you
and
ever grow a
leverage
beard?
yourself
I
back
can't.
into this game. You have the Nocturne
I can't,
delivery.
guys.
We'll see if they're able to make.
And he's there having the time of his life. Dude, that is one of the greatest fucking quotes. Guys, here, I'll show you. I'll show you. I can't grow a beard. Look, okay? Here's where my facial hair grows. It grows here, it grows in a here, and it grows in like a triangle right here. You see it? I can't grow hair here. So what happens, guys, is I end up looking like a musketeer. Because I get the mustache, the soul patch, and then like a triangular goatee. It looks fucking terrible. Okay? You don't want that. Also, I had a mustache when I was on Overwatch League, and it looked terrible.
Make something. It won't be now because, of course, they're splitting and trying to grab tower first.
I think it still will be a little tough for G2 though, because Caps has gone for this more defensive build.
Pick. Come on, guys. Hold on. It did create some good memes, to be fair. Hold on, let me see if I can even find it. I had it for the first couple weeks of Overwatch League in 2018, and a bunch of people made memes out of it. It was funny, because I took some pictures of myself on a green screen and just had people Photoshop me.
All aboard the Korean hype train.
Hold on, I think this is one on my Instagram, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe that's where we can find it together. Let me find it. There's definitely lots of weird pictures of me on my Instagram.
You like this one?
No, I'm good.
This is the best. This is the sticker one.
I know.
I'll
I'm
post
finding
it
it. Okay. My wife's gonna post it, I guess. It's a very ugly picture. Here you guys go. Okay, I found it. I found it. We did it. Here's one that was photoshopped. So I posted a picture of me on a green screen with the Soviet hat and the overcoat, and then people photoshopped this. I mean, what I'm wearing is real, and the mustache is real, guys. The funny thing about my mustache was my wife. So the reason why I grew it, even though I knew it would be terrible, was we were skiing and I forgot my razor, and my wife was like, "I've never seen you with a mustache. Why don't you grow it out?" And then I did, and then she hated it and begged me to remove it.
Build up and in towards the Zanya's first means he doesn't really have that big firepower. I think it's the correct way to go because there's a lot of threat here
Susie
with
says it
the
literally
giant
made
owner
her
and-
cry. Yes. What? So I kept it because I was like, it's funny, and I'm doing it for the memes. And then she had a mental breakdown and wept until I removed it.
Baker and even Kerry being able to follow up, but it does mean that you just lack that oomph in your ultimate for this Orianna.
My mustache caused a mental health crisis for my wife.
T1 in control of the game, about 3,000 gold ahead. A Drake Capice means there's no soul point soon, but we see Caps pushing in the top lane and the TP behind. Zeus on the collapse, has the flash, Caps goes one way, Zeus goes the other, now he tracks back, knowing that Caps is there, the paranoia coming out as Mickey, and Yike look to collapse the flash away. Zeus on the collapse, has the flash, Caps goes one way, Zeus goes the other, now he tracks back, knowing that Caps is there, the paranoia coming out as Mickey, and Yike look to collapse the flash away from the shockwave from Zeus.
Again, we're just playing constantly. We're playing constantly towards the side lanes, and we're just gonna make the TP play here. The Caps is not respecting the TP play and the range of the engage here.
Knowing that Caps is there, the paranoia coming out as Mickey, and Yike look to collapse the flash away from the shockwave from Zeus is gorgeous. And once again, Zeus in this series.
Soviet Silco skin, pretty neat
T1 have
though.
been doing such a good job of collecting G2 members on these side lanes. Every time they step up, there's a TP behind. They're punishing the overextensions, and that's twice now on that top lane that the solo laners of G2 have been caught.
Yeah, that one was a little bit questionable. I know that they also have Gnar pushing on bottom side, but after Caps took the first tower on top side and then pushed the next wave, we kind of thought that was going to be the moment for him to actually back off, but the deep...
But still, I think very greedy for him.
Summer 2 though on Gumayushi on that Jhin is the Mosquito build, but Jins have been doing quite a lot of work with it at this Worlds anyway. T1 trying to gain control of this bot side jungle. Their vision control has been pretty solid so far. Mickey almost caught out, has to blast cone away, no safety in towers in that bot lane. Only the inhibitor tower still remains there for him. 30 seconds on the Mountain Drake, and T1 have control of the Rift.
Black leather, long hair, Monty,
Onsama,
greater than
they could
mustache,
wait a
Monty.
little
Yeah,
bit,
of course.
buy
I
some
look
time for
good
this
like
flash
that.
to get up. It's not a lot of time that they need.
I
but
look
it would be
fucking
very
great.
impactful for the next team fight.
It's only 20 seconds.
He did just complete his Rage Blade, so they definitely have some really good looks here.
BB's just finished his Mega now and he's gone in.
He still gets the Gnar into the wall. The backline, Gumayushi flashes away. The shockwave, I think, maybe a little bit early there as Broken Blade is forced low. Spirit Rush forward by Faker as T1 begins to collapse. And Mickey's burst on the menu again. Faker with a Spirit Rush across the wall, looking for Yike. No curtain call connects, and G2 are able to walk away.
Great target selection from T1. They see that Broken Blade is about to go Mini-Gnar, immediately engage onto him. And Gumayushi, the perfect timing on the flash.
How could you hate this picture, guys? You can't. That was me when I was 21. He aged 0 days since then. True. I have great hair, guys, especially when it's long, because my hair is it's just naturally perfectly straight like that, so it just looks like that. So I shaved my head in my senior year of college, and one of the wildest things that happened was like, so in college, one of the crazy things that happens was when I had long hair, like certain girls would like flirt with me, and then when I shaved my head, it just like changed to an entirely different group of girls. It was crazy.
Caps doesn't get the shockwave onto him, and T1 are able to win out on the fight.
Did I share the MCR pic? Here's one of me from Flashpoint on International Goth Day. We're just going to look at all my weird pictures. This is Flashpoint. That's guys, that's actually the same jacket as when I was 21, by the way. Same jacket.
All aboard the Korean hype train.
And then we had an emo one that we did of me on Overwatch League. Let me find it. Here you go. Here's the emo one that we did for on Overwatch League. It was Monty. Good times, guys.
Just massive from Team 1. As you say, that flash timing from Gumayushi, absolutely perfect. They're looking for the third Drake. Onan will go back towards it. They were just kind of checking to make sure that G2 hadn't snuck towards the Baron to try and take that away, while T1 were getting themselves to 2 dragons in this game.
Timing really has been the biggest advantage for T1. I feel like not only the defensive kind of timing there with the flash, but also they never hesitate on their engages. When you watch this T1 roster, when they're at their best, it is always these very quick, flashy engages that they do not hesitate on, and they punish you immediately. I mean, right there even, they jumped to, as soon as they saw their first target in River, immediately go for it, and pincer from the other side as well. It feels like this T1 are a bit more locked in, and they are not going to leave any openings for you.
And this is the T1
G2 joins Elsa gave a place to get its season end. Third, maybe?
In the early stages.
Fourth?
Play through a strong main jungle, have that pressure down towards sides, and then start to cross map really effectively. Their team fights have been outstanding this event, and it's everything else now that is starting to level up against G2 here as well.
Dagny, you're also mentioning the Vi for owner, which has already been good for him
pretty good.
at Worlds. It continues to be very, very good for owner at Worlds, and you know that's the exact execution that you want. Faker now as well finishes Storm Surge, 6 stacks on his Dark Seal, so there's plenty of potential damage behind these quick reactions from T1. Now they're going to split into their 4-1 split push first. Zeus down there on the bottom side. G2 have the possibilities of trying to put, you know, pressure on the split push, but because T1 have the extra leverage now, it's just hard for them to even gain control of the mid wave first, and so then you can't really afford to send anything down at Zeus because they will jump on that Baron. This is T1, you know they will go for
That's what I was going to say. It's not a very quick Baron take from T1, right? So I think it's more...
No, they have to create a pick before they take Baron. They can't just go for it.
Again, T1 playing off wave states excellently, pushing mid, catching out G2, and now G2 trying to move in mid, but they could get collapsed on from behind.
There's a pincer movement brewing here.
Teleport.
See the TP behind, that's
Faker.
Faker. Counter TP being used by Broken Blade. Curtain Call coming in as the stopwatch is used. Dion onto the backline, jumps Gumayushi, a good shockwave as well onto Zay.
It's definitely not a good shockwave. It's another one of those times, like remember last game when the Nocturne would go here and the shockwave would go onto the front line and then G2 would lose the fight? I mean, Faker's just completely unchecked here.
As he puts the damage down onto Caps, Owner flashing away, Zeus the same, the killer instinct from Hans Summer gets Zeus in response. Now Faker diving around the fight, a hook coming out, Broken Blade trying to get into the Meganar. He'll jump.
Oh, are they gonna do it?
Gooba stopped them, Faker escaping.
All right, they did it this time. They kill everybody at Faker. Nice job, G2.
And G2 somehow find a fight.
Only Faker gets out alive. G2 are going to get some extra money with the tower mid, and Faker just barely does so. Broken Blade hunting for him, but he's not going to find the hiding spot. G2 strike back.
T1 thought that they were going to be able to collapse, but look how long it takes them to get in. The TP from Faker down towards the bottom side, whereas as Zeus goes in, the stopwatch from Caps buys a bunch of time. G2 able to punish Zeus, and also then immediately like jumping on towards the Jin at the top side. Buys a ton of time.
Faker takes a long time to get into this fight.
The target selection for owners to go into Caps, but Hans Sama diving in towards the backline obliterates the duo there.
The comp is also better this time for G2 when it comes to these 5v5s.
Went on to carry. Oh no, yeah, I think he went on to carry instead.
To get that little bit of extra vision. I love the not using the shockwave, but immediately they do. Paranoia in, Faker down, solo play onto the backline as well. We see Hans Summer falling forward. Mickey trying to get into this fight. Broken Blade on his way across as well. Carrier Owner there as well with Gumayushi trying to get away. Doesn't have the flash. Owner doesn't. Carrier goes back in with the Zenith Blade. He's a sacrifice. A sacrificial lamb for G2. As there's 2 more on the board for them.
Keep the pace up. G2, they do. After a successful one, Hansama, he had just a few seconds left on his ultimate. They still got the advantage though. And I have to say, the Nocturne going so deep in both of these plays, this is the real key playmaker here. In the previous one, soloing out Gumayushi, finding him isolated. See if G2 can keep this up, because T1 still with the gold advantage and still with the better play on the map.
It is still the 4 people here. As you can see, BB and Nautilus and Mickey trying to come down from the top side. So they're able to burst out Hans Sama, and it's about now trying to buy time for the top laner and support to come in. But Dragon is now up in 30 seconds, and that's where we're going to be looking at the next.
There isn't one world team this year that looks dominant. All of them have looked weak. I really think Genji has looked dominant, guys. They would have absolutely mega clapped Hanwha if they hadn't, you know, if Delight hadn't made that like superhuman engage with Zeka. I mean, HLE was getting destroyed at that point. You know, that could have been easily a 2-0 for Genji. Their early games have been super clean, and their vision control and objective control has been second to none. Genji really look a step above everybody else.
Is it going to be a dangerous face check, or are they going to try and get control of the mid wave first?
Mickey looking for the hook, there's the charm. Deadly Flush going in, Owner looking for that backline, the solar flare, his 2, Paranoia coming out, Owner can't go in with the engage. Zeus now locked out, pops the stopwatch to buy himself a little bit of time. He's speared though, the shockwave hits onto Owner as he looks for the engage, goes in with the cease and desist. The Guardian Angel still sitting on Owner's shoulders, will bring him back to life. Broken Blade with a good double arm into the wall, Owner trying to get back in with that shield from the Vault Breaker, but he will fall. Faker can't escape Broken Blade. Gumayushi now trying to dodge.
T1 should just not be taking some of these fights though. The thing is that their composition is a lot worse, like I said at the start, of playing these 5v5s and catching the engage than it was in the last game. Plus, G2 is better at diving with having the Kaisa instead of the Draven. So like, why are we trying to fight this? He's trying to get the mega stun here, but they don't have enough sustained damage, especially when Zeus is the one engaging. It's pretty shit.
Broken Blade with a good double arm into the wall. Owner trying to get back in with that shield from the Vault Breaker, but he will fall. Baker can't escape Broken Blade. Komayushi now trying to dance his way away.
I liked how T1 was just playing for the side lanes earlier, and now they've decided to take a couple of these like front to back 5v5s in a row, and it's just bad.
Can't quite land it onto Guma's back. Caps with the dissonance. There's the slow from the red buff. They dodge the captive audience, and Guma's down 2. An ace for G2.
G2 are coming alive. This combo finally working out for them. And Caps in the
Very weird fight. Very weird fight. Why is Zeus like going in the front? I guess he thought he would just win because he has Zhonya's now.
So much better this time around with the small adjustments that they made from game number 1. Zeus does have his teleport ready here, but
He's not going to go for it.
You have to think that it's still going to be a G2 Baron.
You said it in game 1, Kobe. G2 great at fighting from behind, and here we see them coming to
that big ultimate
in Berlin, looking to get themselves to 1-on-1 against T1 in this quarterfinals qualification match.
But you can see the difference that Zeus is having when he doesn't have the Gragas and that big ultimate. He's trying to play in the front line and get involved, but it just doesn't have that same effect. And as the darkness comes through, they're able to buy space then. Zeus has to go in, goes golden. But watch the Orianna ball. It moves in towards the bush, then sets up for that big shockwave as well. And it's after that, again, just moving back, buying space here as BB using that ultimate, clears out 2 members, and it's G2 constantly running up for that big shockwave as well. And it's after that, again, buy space then.
The thing is, Zeus is, everybody is just, there's no vision, right? Nobody can contribute to this, so it wastes his entire Zhonya's timing as well. And Mickey pulls him back in. Ults Faker, so there's no damage. There's just no damage.
After that, again, just moving back, buying space here as BB using that ultimate, clears out 2 members, and it's G2 constantly rotating this front line to block spells, block abilities, until Broken Blade is just able to take over in the back line.
Yeah, T1 could not pressure Caps there. Caps actually just taking over on the Ori. Really good kite back from G2, and then pushing forward on the transformation of the Gnar as well. Now with the Baron buff, they can get so many rewards. Tier 2 tower doesn't stand a chance. That's another 800 gold for the team, immediately picked up. Void Mites from their 6 Void Grubs spawning out.
Baker being forced back to the fountain, has the flash, has the TP, but G2 are trying to open up the base. Owner looking for that flank. His GA not back off cooldown yet, about half the way forward. Inhibitor tower and inhibitor for G2 in the top lane. They take a gold lead for the first time in what feels like the series, at least in the last 30 minutes or so. They'll all reset. Broken Blade was out.
Earlier, when you didn't have hope, I was trying to give you guys hope. Now,
take it away. Take it away.
Now,
it started to bubble.
We are close to Faker getting a death cap on
G2. Whenever they get Baron against Korea, lose the game 15 minutes later. That's the thing. G2 can get back into a lead, but they can't win a game with a lead. But they can't lose a game while behind. You know what I mean? Like, they can play from behind only. If they're ahead, it's their greatest weakness. A gold lead is their largest nemesis. G2 should win this game. Like, they should have priority on every objective now. They should be able to force the 5v5s. They should win this. You know, we shouldn't see Mountain Soul for T1.
No TP, so T1 may be looking for the TP ward that's right in behind them. At the moment, you can just see it on the back of your screens, but G2, they end up rolling away, don't want to overextend.
That ward had my heart.
Oh, on the road again. I missed your sub. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub, or resubscription, tier 1. Appreciate you. Stealth, thank you for your sub. I don't think I shouted that one out either. Apologies.
4,000 gold lead for them as well. 3 but Baker was the one that stepped up at MSI in that 5-game series.
I will say, though, this G2 comp, with the small changes that they made, they're so much more durable. And you see not only the Sterix Gauge that was on Yike here on this Nocturne.
Wait, Mickey flashed into a wall and hooked?
Small changes that they made, they're so much more durable. And you see not only the Sterix Gauge that was on Yike here on this Nocturne.
Wait, Mickey flashed into a wall and hooked?
Yeah.
Never seen that before, eh?
No. I think he was looking for the flash.
I never saw what he did, actually. It's just crazy.
Back to Yike, though, he's also got a Guardian Angel. So You know, Yike is going to be able to go deep, and Caps has been able to stay so safe with his Zonias in the back line, just constantly providing so much.
Wait, Mickey flashed into a wall.
Hold on, guys.
Small changes that they made. There's so much
So,
more durable.
here's the thing.
You see not only the steric
They take out the
that was
vision.
on Yike.
If he hits this, guys, serious question. Just G2 just win the game? If they kill Zeus here, yeah, they probably don't kill him because he has flash and leap strike. But he doesn't, and he has a pink ward to jump to.
Yike here on this
But what if they were to kill him there? I think they just win the game. I think they just win the game because of
Never seen
supers.
that before, eh?
No. I think he was
I
looking
didn't
for the
see it
flash.
either. I
think
never
he
saw
face
what he did,
planted.
actually. It's
Pretty
just
sure he
crazy.
face planted.
Back to Yike though, he's also got a Guardian Angel.
But they might get a second
you know,
inhib
Yike is gonna be able
off
to go
of that.
deep, and Caps has been able to stay so safe with his Zonias in the back line, just constantly providing so much threat. So we'll see here. You even have
Because Jax would have been delayed, which means that he wouldn't be able to answer the super minion push, which means that somebody would have had to go here, which means they probably get another inhib at the very least.
another stasis built by Hansama. It's just so durable for G2. They're just bullying them.
Solar Flare, Hansama dodges, only gets slowed. Broken Blade goes in with an arm only onto Ona. Zeus is TP'd in behind, and he dives onto Hansama immediately. And Hansama has a stopwatch, but he doesn't have much life left afterwards. He manages to get away with the killer instinct, but Mickey and Caps are only down. Ona face plants the wall this time. Broken Blade left it to his own devices, and T1 clean him up. The flash in from Zeus with a counter-strike. Mickey trying to dredge line his way out of this one, but Faker's on the chase, as is Carrier. And Mickey, those hooks are sending you to Davy Jones's locker. Strike, Mickey trying to the killer instinct. Broken Blade goes in with an arm only onto Ona. Zeus is TP'd in behind, and he dives onto Hansama immediately.
It's another good TP
Has a stopwatch, but
from
he doesn't have
T1.
much life left afterwards. He manages to get away with the killer instinct, but Mickey and Caps are only down. Ona face plants the wall this time. Broken Blade left it to his own devices. And
Oh
T1
no, are they
clean
gonna
up.
get soul
The
off of
flash
this?
in from
Oh, they get a
Zeus with
shutdown on a
counter-strike.
Jax
Mickey trying
too.
to dredge line his way out of this one, but Faker's on the chase, as is Carrier. And Mickey, those hooks.
He's actually staggering himself right now so that he will not be there potentially for the. This is good.
Faker will take it. T1 will take
This
the
is good by
fight.
T1. They want to delay this as long as possible to try and get him not there for soul. Very smart of T1. Very smart of T1. He's getting Diva staggered.
50 seconds until Dragon will deny a lot
Huge.
of control to G2.
Huge.
But T1 again, these great teleport flanks for Zeus.
And even though that looks funny to follow him around, and Mickey knows he's a dead man, it actually is strategically sound to delay the Nautilus death for a longer death timer there. So they actually even hurt them further, knowing that he is a dead man walking, chasing him around, but it's all about the teleport. And look at this setup as well, right before the tower goes down.
Yeah, he's Broken Blade goes on towards Owner, but it's Faker as he starts to shove out to buy space as the Zeus TP comes in, and it's Hansam who's basically dead to rights as this play starts off.
The teleport
goes on towards Owner.
So I think when you see the TP coming in here, you just have to go this way. You have to all in. You can't. You have the actual Nocturne ults. You just have to full send it because you have the Meganar. When you start to try to run here, you're just running into Zeus killing Hansama, right?
As this play starts off.
So they actually end up like using Paranoia. They use all their ults super weirdly when they could have just used them to dive. G2 had to play that more aggressively.
Even though Owner fails the flash over the wall, and
You can't just walk back into the Jax. You got to go the opposite direction and take the 5v4 under the turret, especially since the turret's dying, right?
As well, right before the tower goes down.
Yeah, he's Broken Blade goes on towards Owner, but
I mean, the tower's 1 HP. You can easily just kill this. I mean, the tower's dead. You just all in right here. You don't do that. You don't retreat. Why are they such cowards?
The teleport flank gets right behind him. Their backline has to scramble. Both Hansama and Caps have nothing left here. Even though Owner fails the flash over the wall and isn't able to go get Caps, they do chase down Hansama, and the Dragon's Soul is theirs to set up. Wait, Zeus has hiding once again. Look at him.
You can see Mickey's only just getting off towards.
They're trying to get behind so they have a chance to win. Genius.
It's Guma that secures the Drake. They're looking up towards the top side. Zeus caught out with the Paranoia, gets the counter-strike, but there's the fear as well. The killing instinct coming in from Hansama as they look to catch out Zeus. The rest of T1 trying to come back
Good
to
catch,
defend
though.
their top laner, but Zeus will be down before they can get there. G2 find one. taking the second one, so it looks like it's only
Dr.
gonna be two.
Zayas.
T1 able to hold on, not have those double supers pushing in every lane.
But Baron is still there, and if it's all inhibitors exposed, that could be the death knell for T1. G2 starting to move over. Isaiah's 20-second death timer, no teleport.
It's so risky though, because you have no wards left for Mickey. He puts this one control ward down. All Owner needs to do is get into this pit, and he might be able to snipe this away. The curtain's open, and encore for Guma Yushi. Owner gets into it.
Oh my God, really?
Puts this one control ward down. All Owner needs to do is get into this pit, and he might be able to.
So they get vision of them using Jin ult.
An encore for Guma.
Broken Blade? Do you feel like zoning them? Hey, Broken Blade, do you feel like zoning them? Nah. Dude, the plasma stacks trolled them. You see this? I'm pretty sure the plasma stacks pop right there from Hansama, and that puts it to 1100, and then Owner takes it.
Is still there, and if it's all inhibitors exposed, that could be the death knell for T1. G2 starting to move over. Isaiah's 20-second death timer, no teleport.
But also, Broken, like, why is nobody zoning them on the outside? There isn't any pressure right now from the waves onto their base. Like, you actually can just set up waves before you do this and then take this Baron completely for free if you're G2. And you can zone. I mean, there's so many things you could do here. They just play this super bad. This should never be a 50-50.
Price for his ability to steal the Baron. He keeps T1 in the game, and G2 just couldn't dot their I's and cross their T's.
Owner has been a beast for T1 at this championship. Barely getting in over the wall, gets the smite, and G2 now, with that dead timer though, they want to try and end it. Zayas had pushed in mid with Gumayushi and Karius, so G2 trying to fight back.
Couldn't the not zone? Of course, couldn't the Nar zone? Couldn't not and Nar zone? I mean, there's a lot. They don't need both of them.
Should be able to defend.
The tankiness the minions get from the Baron buff, they'll be spawning in a few seconds time for T1. There they are. They'll help them defend. Faker goes in. Dead charge.
Oh my God, the shockwave. Oh, Zayas on the back line now.
Zayas is doing so much work. Caps down. Hansama running for his life. And Faker goes in. Dead charge. Shockwave. There's two knocked up.
No follow-up though.
From the Baron buff, they'll be spawning in a few seconds time for T1. There they are. They'll help them defend. Faker goes in. Dead charge.
Faker actually kind of trolls that. He drags the not ult back. But again, the thing is, Zayas and Guma are completely untouched by that. The wave timings are just so wacky from G2. Like, we're not gonna use super minion pressure to take Baron. We're gonna take this inhibitor and then immediately try to end the game against a Baroned up team when we are gonna have double super minions coming into the base. Just strange, man. The other thing is, this inhib is still going to be down when the Elder spawns. So you're going to have super minion pressure and you're going to have Elder. This is, I mean, G2, man, there was a lot of opportunities here, I think, to win this game if they had done literally anything else.
Zayas is just ripping through G2. Faker survives on the backline. Yike trying to do everything he can. The paranoia will help him take out his enemy jungler. Hansama trying to survive here. Zayas has to call off the chase, but T1 once again hold on to the game.
Guma's going to chase them, but they're going to get out. At least two there survive for G2, but the defense from T1 at Nexus Tower.
Also having that base in this fight, there's just no one to take him down. But there, the steal, just barely able to get in towards the pit. And you'll see it here in the team fight, right? Faker goes in, good charm, the shockwave is great, but his Broken Blade goes forward. It's Zayas.
It's the stun lock, though, onto Caps. That's the thing. Watch this. Watch the stun lock onto Caps, because Faker goes in, right? Leona stun right there during the shockwave, so there's no actual follow-up damage, and Hansama's trying to kill him on the backline, but look at that, man, just chained right into the counter-strike.
With this much MR on the Jax.
Yeah, the layering of the Leona ultimate into
Wariol X76. Thank you
so big.
for your Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate you.
And then the chase down there as well. getting the extra couple ones. You can see how close they are to extending this series, but you're never fully there against T1 until you actually can blow up the Nexus. Here we go, though.
Splash as well. As you say, G2 looking for another push here. Hansama, Mickey, and Caps pushing out that bot side. Can't see if Zeus has his teleport up.
The bio.
Faker does.
Thank you very much for your Twitch Prime sub.
G2 have to do their due diligence here and clear out as many as
You're a
possible.
legend.
Supers pushing
Legends.
into the next
Subscribe to
minute and a
Monty.
half for G2. Zeus, though, an
Silly
absolute
plebs
monster
do
so
not.
far. This series continues to be a thorn in the side of the LEC #1 representatives.
Most painful thing for G2 is that they have to fight into this Mountain Soul. It is so difficult, the extra durability on T1. And T1 constantly, you're
It's not like the wave clear is super amazing from T1 either. Try to fish for charms using Ahri ult.
That might be a nice opening. G2, again, double stacked up. Lines of super minions coming in. So much inevitable pressure. Look at top lane as well.
Faker is the charm, only onto Mickey. Deadly Flourish will find him as well, but Mickey tanky enough now, has the Night's Vow and the Locket. And those Merc Treads. Faker's going to deal with the push in the top side. His Spirit Rush will be back off cooldown, relatively shortish, because he has that Malignance. You can see already a quarter of the cooldown has gone down. Double Supers now, pushing in bot. Faker being met by Broken Blade. Mickey on that front line. Caps trying to do what he can here as well. The Nexus Towers are under siege from the Super Minions, but they've been cleared out. Ona charging up the Vault Breaker, looking for a little bit more. Doesn't go in. Hansama looking for those Void Seekers as well.
BB is half health though. Faker did a good job of chucking him out. Zeus now stepping forward. Nobody willing to hit him. G2
behind is Faker. He's looking for the Spirit Rush. It's up in a second's time. Faker's met by Yike. Mickey on the front line. The Shockwave going out as well. Broken Blade lands the Nar, but doesn't get a stun onto anyone. And G2 disengage. G2 behind is Faker. He's looking for doesn't go in. Faker's going to
So Broken Blade takes a massive chunk here from Faker though.
Shortish. Has that Malignance. You can see already a quarter of the cooldown has gone down. Double Supers now pushing in bot. Faker
He just takes the he takes this damage for no reason. Broken Blade. He actually jumps into the Q pullback true damage and then just eats a combo from Ahri.
Charging up the Vault Breaker, looking for a little bit more. Doesn't go in. Hansama looking for those Void Seekers as well.
BB is half health though. Faker did a good job of chucking him out. Zeus now stepping forward. Nobody willing to hit him. G2
behind is Faker. He's looking for the Spirit Rush. It's up in a second's time. Faker's met by Yike. Mickey on the front line. The Shockwave going out as well. Broken Blade lands the Nar, but doesn't get a stun onto anyone. And G2 disengage.
They're desperate to
They're just trying to poke them out of the base. T1.
They just cannot be fought back. The health bars are so good. The waves are still crushing in, but Zeus is standing tall, the difference maker for T1 once more.
Honestly, it is a slight,
Are you doing
like, that's
BLG
a
versus
mini
PSG
win
afterwards?
For G2,
Yep.
The teleport, because teleports are very big when Elder Dragon is coming back onto the map. You know, only 30 seconds. And while both inhibitors now here respawn for T1, and they kind of deal with that extra pressure from mid and bottom, they're still going to be forced into a situation here where G2 should be first to the objective.
So there's no deep wards possible unless Carrier has snuck his way in behind somewhere. The hook's going to land onto Ona. They look for the engage. Ona now has to burn the flash. Zeus has his TP and he's going to match the Supers pushing in the top side. G2 have control of the river right now. Solar Flare, Hansama only slowed. The Caps is the one they dive into and immediately assassinate him. Caps is TP and he's going to match the Supers pushing in the top side. G2 have control of the river right now. Solar Flare,
That they immediately just viled W, and even though they had Nocturne ult is popped, they're all close enough just to chain CCM with the Ahri charm as well.
And Hansama is going to join him. T1 immediately pounce, and G2 don't know what hit him.
T1 are forever clutch, and G2 are finding out about it in the worst possible way. Zeus.
What's funny is both of these teams are very good at playing from behind, and we're seeing that play out in this game.
The last one was stolen. Can you find revenge?
A vision in the pit. Gumayuchi trying to keep him at bay. No paranoia for Yike, but does have the flash. Guma will take the blast cone. Yike, can you do it? We saw you steal one versus Hanwha live. He puts the Dustbringer over the wall and immediately backs away. G2 have called, do not fight this fight. We can take the next. But the next will be versus a very scary T1, an Elder, and a Baron buff.
It's crazy that T1 won this game, man.
Just keep on assassinating them.
Yeah, we get to see it here. Owner flashes over the wall, and then as they start to step up again, I mean, they spot Caps for just the
I mean, they get information because of the pink ward in the banana brush.
And it's the setup that they need. The follow
God, the CC. A lot of snap engage from T1 there.
The Orianna.
God, Owner is crazy. He's just done so much this game, you know, not to mention stealing away the Baron, but constantly good engages for them.
Time. T1
means that 2 more waves that you have to try and hold off.
I don't think G2 is getting a second act. The dive onto the backline by Yike, but immediately he is low. Caps already assassinated on the back, and T1 are just ripping them to shreds. T1
Jin is too strong now. The Nocturne can't go onto him solo like we saw earlier in the game.
History doesn't repeat itself, but it damn well rhymes. It's another Friday. It's another T1 win.
Help, the human's about to escape.
Get your paws off me, you dirty ape!
He can talk. He can talk, 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 he can talk.
I can sing!
Ooh, help me, Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
What's wrong with me?
I think you're crazy.
Want a second opinion?
You're also lazy.
Dr. Zaius, Dr.
The jokes in this are just so good, guys. I want a second opinion. Can I play the piano? Well, I couldn't before. It's so funny.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
Can I play the piano anymore?
Of course you can.
Well, I couldn't before.
This play has everything.
Oh, I love legitimate theater. I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. No, you'll never make a monkey out of me. Oh my God, I was wrong. It was Earth all along. You finally made a monkey. Yes, we finally made a monkey. Yes, you finally made a monkey out of me.
It's such genius writing. Everything about this is so funny.
I love you, Dr. Zaius.
Oh my god.
This is the full VOD of...
All right, guys. Chimpanzee to chimpanzee is unironically really so funny. All right, quick break. Gotta go to the bathroom. Be back for the next series. I will also look at the T1 Chef video. I will look at it.
All aboard the Korean hype train!
All my viewers went away. Nobody actually wants to watch China versus Taiwan. I mean, Chinese Taipei. I'm so sorry. Great nation, China.
The matchup between BLG and PSG. Let's dive into the picks and bans.
So far, where they
Fun fact, you can't say Taiwan on the Riot broadcast. Where's the audio?
International
Yeah,
stage.
it comes back. All right, we don't need audio for the pick ban. Okie dokie. Komari Masita. Thank you for your Twitch Prime sub. And Marf Smarfs, thank you. I was gone when you sub with your Prime, but I appreciate you. And I go back and I look at these things because I care about you, subscribers. Okay, we're banning Ari for knights, Nocturne and Nar. Jax is up, but we're going to first pick Aurora. We're just going to give Binny Bin the Jax. Of course we are. So it's mid Aurora. And we're playing with Wukong. Wow, this is the Wombo combo that's coming in. Group them up with Aurora ult and then Wukong ult them. Give away the Yone, though. And we're taking Kennen for Aja topside. So he can't get his Nar, I guess. Bot lane bans, so we'll take Rel, Leona, MF. Wow, the Wombo. The BLG just going straight Wombo here.
The biggest of clusters. We're gonna
It's
have.
interesting to see how in the
These
second
team
half
fights
of
will
the
be
Swiss
a
stage
big
that
bang.
Ziggs has been so heavily
For sure.
deprioritized.
Can we just get another play-by-play on the desk instead?
We actually
We're just going to take, it falls all the way through the draft. We take Ezreal because he's super safe in the Wombo. I agree with the Ezreal pickup. Thank you, Leafs fan 23 for your Twitch Prime sub. I'm so sorry about the Leafs. Maybe they'll be good someday.
And I think having this Ezreal at least gives him a chance to try and like arcane shift out of this bullet cyclone of weirding that's going to be coming his way on BLG side. So he can have a major performance coming into the
close to doing it.
So much goes along with this series as well with, you know, the pick of will be looking at Maple, especially with the support of a Sejuani jungle at his back to make some big plays.
And we'll be little trinkets, all those little tall. 4 character would like power. I was like, BLG setting up down towards the bottom side. Did look for a moment like they might lane swap, but instead they were just trying to get bush control in the top side. Often we do see a ward placed when you do this. I think Knight may have placed his ward in that bush. Actually, he's gone over towards the Razor Beak. So what you often want to do is, if you're playing melee into ranged, is you want to try and get a ward into one of the bushes to make it harder for the range to drop minion aggro in that top lane. And it looks like Aja should be able to continually harass there as Bin and him trade towards the top side.
I think you should be relatively okay as Bin still to get pushed, just thanks to that counter-strike.
Yeah.
It works out very well. We saw it from BB on the opposite side in the last game, where even with the Nari, he couldn't really do too much. So Bin going to be fine, and okay, Woody, not quite been able to get the crash down there, but with the push on top and also slowly starting to come through, I'd imagine in mid lane as well, I think you're going to be fine as Shun to move up towards this top side and contest for Scuttle, which is really where you want to be is this Wukong, because hitting level 6, getting out onto the map as quick as possible with that ultimate is so crucial to this success.
Yeah, one of the things that we saw actually a decent amount more, of course, with both of those junglers sharing scrims with the team and playing this whole time.
Oh, I didn't even catch this. I'm dumb, guys. Wow, Jun is in. Overweight. Wow. Okay. Well, this is a big change up considering they really haven't been playing with Jun since spring.
Level 6 though, so you would generally just on paper give the
So that is
a bit more potency,
that is wild that they would switch that up, especially because they changed their entire they changed themselves stylistically to be a much more top focused team around Bin with Wei.
When we saw Shun coming in, he kind of put
Why? I don't know.
towards that bottom side for a lot of their games, especially when you look at like their series against LNG and that. So I think for BLG, it's going to be a case of trying to see if they can have that access.
I mean, I do think Wei was underperforming. He and On were underperforming, and maybe because they have a sub jungler. I mean, they can't replace On because they don't have a sub for him. So maybe they figured this was a way to revitalize the team or some internal issues.
Looking towards, say, the level 6 with those potential ganks, but also Void Grubs as they start to come through that second round.
See Jun kind of pathing down towards that bottom side to get the Scuttle Crab. Junja has taken control over the top side. Bin had to TP back as he was harassed by Azure. Not too much surprising in this early game. The MF managing to get push into a Ezreal lane. It's kind of to be expected. She had
the Leona there on is taking the exhaust for the Kennen.
It's gonna be hard farming though for 6 with the Wukong.
But also serves its purpose. Very, very
flash.
Sorry, not having that flash available for that
Bin.
That's pretty crucial though, because you like
Bin gets the counter strike. Can look for the empower in a couple of seconds as well. Azure
It's actually huge that he's able to get this flash out.
Just keep my eyes on what Shun is up to, because hang on,
Bin gets the counter strike. Can look for the empower in a couple of seconds as well. Azure deciding he has to flash away. Doesn't want to be hit with the lamppost from Bin.
Why doesn't he just wait for the wave to push into him? He's playing way too aggressively there. The wave is pushing his direction.
To some of those very, very heavy all-ins.
He really wants that cannon, I think. Yeah, he wants the cannon and Bin baits him.
Counter strike. Can look for the empower in a couple of seconds as well. Azure deciding he has to flash away. Doesn't want to be hit with the lamppost from Bin.
That's pretty crucial though, because you like having those solo laners hit 6 just in time for like Void Grub fights or anything like that. So not having that, not having that flash available for that combo is going to be a bit sad.
Flash in onto On here, doesn't have the exhaust and a flash of his own. Zenith plays onto Junja to try and get himself away. Exhaust.
Junja got on out kind of.
Target you want. Jun trying to join the fray. Elk having to cleanse flash away as Jun is now caught with a shadowing strike in PSG. Find first blood in the bot lane and will force Jun away.
Nice job by Woody to get the crash down on towards On, trying to base in PSG, hoping that Shun would be in position, but Junja's already there.
Will force Shun away. Now on the Sejuani, not the target you want. Jun trying to
available for that combo is going to be a bit sad.
Flash in onto On here, doesn't have the exhaust and a flash of his own. Zenith plays onto Junja to try and get himself away. Exhaust on the Sejuani, not the target you want. Jun trying to join the fray. Elk having to cleanse flash away as Jun is now caught with a shadowing strike in PSG.
Position, but
to blood acquired for PSG. Very happy to actually cash in. And very nice gold lead for PSG.
Away can use the Between Worlds to dash out, but that's an ultimate for ultimate exchange in the mid lane.
You'll take that though as PSG, because Knight way less threatening with that ultimate down at these early stages. Also the fact that you get mid push means you get to move over straight away towards these Void Grubs. And look at Shun, he's not even close to that level 6 and Bin in the same boat. So he's a little bit off, has to finish out this wave, which means BLG not really in a position to contest.
Yeah, for sure. PSG just going to be able to get these Void Grubs no problem. And if you look at the domino effect of some of those plays, guess what a mid-prio for Yone could turn into? It's more ganks on bottom side. Jinjia could go down back bottom side, as well as possible Maple Roam. So there are a lot of good things building up towards consecutive plays, since not only On used summoner spells in the bottom side, but it was also Elk in their attempts to evade.
Also just putting Knight on edge a little bit, right? Making him burn his ultimate is so important because Knight has so consistently been a stalwart of the LPL. I think if people only follow International League of Legends, they won't really see Knight as this dominant character. But he's a 5-time LPL champion, tied first in LPL championships. He's been at Worlds 4 times, and although the furthest he's ever made is semi-finals, he's widely regarded as one of, if not the best mid laner in the world, depending on the time of year.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the best mid laner in the LPL and is the kingmaker in the LPL. He's been in the last 6 LPL finals. He has won 4 in the last finals, and is now starting to tie people for most LPL titles with the likes of Xiaohu and these guys. Like, adding a Worlds title to this guy just makes him the most decorated LPL player of all time.
And it feels like such a weird thing to talk about when they're 1,000 goal behind PSG in the 1-2 matches, right? Because this is not where BLG expected to be. It's kind of where PSG expected to be, as Betty should be able to go away here. The Zenith Blade going in, Betty trying to trade back onto Elk. Went in with the Zenith Blade himself, doesn't have the exhaust up. Now he's taking the Magnet Storm coming out.
Why are we playing so aggressive? I mean, this is what I'm talking about, guys. So Jun used to play very heavily in the spring through the bot lane, and they're still trying to do that, but they're doing it with, like, I mean, they just can't catch anybody, and they're not in position to get these kills. And even though Jun has ult, they're not going in. On goes in, extends. Like, Jun just isn't on the same page with these guys. They're set, like, the On goes in, but there's no follow-up from Jun. It's weird. Like, shouldn't they use Wukong and MF ults there? You actually have the priority. Also, why are we going in over here? How is Wukong supposed to join this fight?
The Zenith Blade going in, Betty trying to trade back onto Elk. Went in with the Zenith Blade himself, doesn't have the exhaust up. Now he's taking the Magnet Storm coming out as well. And what is on?
He's also level 4, and Woody is level 6.
Shun would back him up, but he was left to his own devices, and in the end, he's left to his demise.
Well, the thing is, one of the players that has been involved in some of these Worlds winning rosters was Junja, and he's keeping it going.
Goes in with the Glacial Prism. The Cleanse was available for Elk, and he holds it. The bullet time opens up. Jun going in with the Cyclone, looking to make a Tempest. He'll take one. Junja falls. Woody trying to get the CC onto Jun to keep Betty alive. Jun holds it and dies in the end.
Jesus Christ, what a mess.
But Betty puts him in the dirt.
And PSG, the reason they keep forcing on this bottom side is because all the setup work that
Because on... Let's go back, actually.
Of some of those plays, there are getting
see how this happens, because On is actually even in XP here. So he's even on XP here, but then they push this in. He's not there to catch any of this wave, so he gets no XP. He wanders topside for grub spawn.
And a lot of that control that PSG got in their series against BLG.
Right, let's see. Woody's now half a level up. They're making a play onto the mid lane, clearing the minion wave again, so we're going to see Woody get more XP out of this mid wave.
With that ultimate down at these early stages, also the fact that you get mid push means you get to move over straight away.
On walks away though, and I guess he just doesn't get any XP off this wave either, so now he's dropped 2 huge waves hitting the turret that he didn't get XP from. So he's a whole level down.
Guess what? A lot of good things building up.
And look at this. Woody's here to catch this wave. So On has just been trying to make plays on the map or dying, but he's not there to actually share in any of the XP. So here's where Woody takes the massive like swing in terms of levels.
He's been at Worlds 4 times.
Kingmaker in the LPL. He's been in the last 6 LPL finals. He has won 4 in the last.
And then he just kind of gets zoned off this wave right here.
Tie people for most LPL titles with the likes of Xiaohu and these guys. Like, adding a Worlds title to this guy.
Woody hit 6 right when On goes in. That's fine, but I'm just looking at how this massive level gap occurred, and now we know.
When they're 1,000 goal behind PSG in the 1-2 matches, right? Because this is
On just not prioritizing XP. He doesn't. He's roaming the map and trying to cover, but he could have like stayed in the mid wave to like soak some of that XP, and he doesn't. His first death really hurt him. Yikes.
Looking for the engage, thinking Shun would back him up, but he was left to his own devices, and in the end, he's left to his demise.
Even because they blew all the bot lane summoners first time around, and then as you can see, Junja could just kind of walk right by Shun.
Pretty bold to make this play too when you have no sums.
Level 4 to Woody's 6, like massive, massive difference. There's no way you can ever fight the even numbers, and it's just by the skin of their teeth. Like, what HP was that, like 30 maybe left on Elk? That it didn't even go catastrophically wrong. Plan of
free lane to himself. the Void Grubs in a minute's time, Aja is in prime position to be an outright carry for PSG Talon. BLG need to find some way back into this game, or PSG Talon can just run away with this.
Who'll get the blast cone, but Ginger's going to follow him across. Knight still has the flash, has the ult, has the dash with the weirding. Caught out with the Glacial Prison, True Shot Barrage coming out as well, and Knight now
flash
has to
the
invest
Ezreal
that
ult.
summoner to escape the clutches of Ginger.
So much damage.
Okay, they're not going to have a Sedge ult, though, for a possible, like, next grub take.
You see Leona coming to hover, but Knight just has to stand and watch. Look at all these minions.
They don't
down
even
to the
care. They're
tower.
just going to trade it for
He's waiting
plates.
for On to come escort him into safety, but another very smart play here from PSG to cut off more resources from the hands of BLG. So many minions dying.
And Funnel Betty, who has just been such a monumental carry for this PSG roster as well. Like, after he left the LPL and came in.
Well, Vinny Kitty,
this guy was an absolute
I'm
beast.
pretty
He's gonna
sure
continue
if
to
you
show
come
up
here,
for
this
this
isn't like a spoiler-free
roster.
zone, buddy.
Now that he's on 2-0, he's gonna have this try.
This ain't it. We're here to do here to do analysis.
He's in prime position to play out of his mind to try and carry PSG
So,
across the line.
Spoilers
Once again,
are
they don't
accepted
have a
here.
huge amount of lockup that can really keep him in check. He has the cleanse for anything that On has, then has the arcane shift and a flash.
Sorry, Vinny Kitty. If you don't want, look, I try and not say the spoilers while I'm streaming, so just like, but people in chat are going to talk about it, and that's fine.
Exactly. One of the
Just
few
turn off
AD
chat.
carries that doesn't completely pull out their
If you
hair
don't want
and
spoilers,
scream
turn off
that
chat.
Aurora's
I
on
typically
NC.
try and avoid
Actually
saying
has
who
some
won,
options,
even though
some
I know.
playability.
I haven't
Plus,
seen
as
the
you can see,
games and I
PSG
haven't seen the
obviously
draft, but I do know who wins the
Knights
series, and I usually don't know which games each team
over and
wins.
over. Multiple ganks towards him, catching him in transition, constantly trying to burn the flash, take away.
But yeah, chat, you are
from that
you are
Aurora,
welcome
make
to
sure
discuss
it does
results.
not
That's fine.
Become a nightmare for them later on.
But he's the one they're going to have to watch over these next few minutes. Still a while before the next Drake, and we saw grubs exchanged for denying Knight a couple of waves in the bot side, so it's 3 grubs apiece for both these teams, but a TP coming in by...
Do you watch the game live as well? No, I haven't seen the
PSG.
games.
They know Knight has no flash.
I'm asleep when these fucking games happen, man. This game happened at like midnight my time.
Expect it. Maple here to catch the wave. On and Shun on their way across as well. You can see the ward placed there. Ginger and Woody looking for the invade towards the red buff. They are pushing mid, they are pushing bot. Betty here to join the battle. Maple gets the first move, can look for a flank here with the Fate Seal, dashes forward and binds his soul on down to half. Pushing mid, they are pushing bot. Betty here to join the battle. Maple gets the first move, can look for a flank here with the Fate Seal, dashes forward and
I don't know about
binds his
engaging
soul on
onto
down
the
to half
Sejuani.
HP. The Solar Flare goes in with
I mean, they're getting the Wukong ult down. Oh, okay. Well, they got the Wukong MF ult combo. Oh, Knight's gonna get a huge ult here.
Between worlds, Knight can look for more. Maple dives in with
Maple
the Fate
battle.
Seal, but BLG will
Oh,
the
boy.
first to fall. Maple was distracted by flank here with the Fate Seal. dashes
Maple is
forward
just
and
fucking
binds his
around
soul
with
on
Knights,
down to
but he actually has Prio here, and he should probably be doing. Maple, I think, misplays this.
And Woody's the first to fall. Maple was distracted by Knight. Betty dashing back in between worlds. Knight can look for more. Maple dives in. With
All right,
the
Maple
Fate
has
Seal,
to be
but
in this
BLG
engagement.
will happily take the triple.
Jungle like that into so much AoE. The idea was there, but the execution was off.
Yeah, going into those tiny corridors is just perfect for the BLG composition, and PSG pay the price. Bin still relatively low, and Aja snuck in here, but there's so many members of BLG collapsing.
Shun cleared out the ward.
No Wukong ult.
See on his way up as well. TP coming in as PSG. Well, they're not going to do anything to help out Azure here. He's dead. Knight takes it. BLG will get the push in the top side, and that gold is even now.
And that was just good timing for Betty. So BLG getting time alone with this turret. Maybe in a position to...
Taking 4.
Yeah, BLG.
You can see the flip on the Mastercard lane.
24 CS down, as expected, in a ranged into melee matchup in the top lane that was left to its own devices, but it's only
So
about
BLG is
just
still very
waiting
ult dependent, though, as
through
composition.
the darkness in that bot side jungle to apply a bit of pressure with the flank. He'll catch out Shun, who goes into that decoy.
And they didn't
Well,
get
the
first
Red
Drake
Devil
or
get a charge
anything,
down,
so
quite
it's
take
not
the
like
tower, but it does get mid-prio.
they're going to be
PSG,
able to
the
force a
second
ton of
Drake
fights
looking
forever,
to
is the
decide
thing.
that is
Like,
their
PSG
priority.
has a lot of time to work with in this game.
So Maple kind of hiding out, seeing if you can wait until Knight
If they want to
disappears
just,
and put
like,
threat
give
onto
this
tier
up
2,
or try
while
and
also
force some
keeping
ults
threat onto
out,
Red
right?
Dragon. PSG playing at the map
They can
well.
play this game pretty slow if they want.
BLG now have a Bloodthirster and a BF sword on Elk. He was so far delayed in this game. Now even Stevens in terms of gold with Betty. And if
Especially when the cannon does have flash, the effect of the flank coming in for the big team fight. And
Make him burn that, has to wait.
It's going to be good for them too. They still get the 2 Drakes. They still have a mild gold lead.
And then you look at the
Should be able to get the mid turret down here.
Scales better. It really comes down to execution, right? Like if Azure gets in without being exhausted.
Never mind. I don't know if it was there.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, look at the pressure PSG are putting on. TP from Knight away from the wave. PSG should be able to get.
They transition that pressure into top though.
Tier 1 in mid for it. Elk opens up on the tower.
It's worth it to trade this for the tier 2 bot lane though.
Exchanged. BLG deciding that they couldn't defend anyway, and so they want to.
People going to be big rich after this.
It's not a bad idea. You do get 2 towers there for it, so at least it's something.
True.
But in the grand scheme of things, PSG Talon are still up in towers there, getting more gold. So it's a great spot for them to be in, and a huge amount of that obviously going in towards the hands of Maple. Going to help out with
the secondary ones are 800 gold for your team. Plus, there's an added benefit of the secondary ones are more funneled gold because more of it is local. So you get like more concentrated power, and what better place to concentrate that power?
100% true, but I will say if we're going down this Animal Farm route, I feel like the mid lane towers are quite important as well. Now that PSG have managed to get one
of control on the map to try and get value out of that, right? Yep. And obviously BLG are doing a good job of setting that up at the moment, but Asia still has good push against Bin. He's in a decent spot, and Maple is a massive threat on side lanes against people like Knight. So the windows of opportunity for BLG to really punish this are tough. I think it's more of a case we're going to need to wait and see if how this next team fight turns out at Dragon, so then that vision could maybe
for Maple in any stance here would be a banger. If they were able to pull off a really big upset.
Has been so consistently on top team, so consistently challenging at World Championships. Even though we talk about back from anywhere, on court out will burn the flash.
PSG to be able to take down BLG, just the #1 seed, everyone who was expecting to be.
Okay, let's see if BLG is going to get their wombo around this next Drake. Soul Point could be absolutely huge here for PSG. Hextech would really disrupt BLG's ability to play in these team fights, which is very crucial to their composition.
Your 2-item power spike before we get our 2 items. You know, that's not fair. So they want to delay a little bit. They want to wait until they can catch up in inventory here.
One to remember.
The thing is, like, starting the Hextech Drake actually does help BLG set up for their engage, though, because the Hextech Drake does Chain Lightning slow you if it's targeting you, so it can be very helpful in certain ways.
Looking for an avenue to approach. Bin looking to reset and get a TP in. Maple going to that Gromp to stack up his Q3. PSG still fighting over this Dragon. TP coming in from Azure as well. He's just finished the Shadow Flame. 2 items on the cannon. Bin will TP to the control ward down towards the top side of the fight. Jun is in the pit.
Azure in the back, he's almost mega. Or he's Kennen, sorry, I'm so dumb.
Right now, Jun going in with the Cyclone onto the backline, finds Maple but doesn't find Betty. Azure and PSG will disengage the fight. Jun has to flash the wall, but he's locked up with his fate sealed. Bin now in the pit trying to battle against Jun and Maple, but BLG,
I'm so used to seeing Nara at Worlds instead of Kennen.
Disengage the fight. Jun has to flash the wall, but he's locked up with his fate sealed. Bin now in the pit trying to battle against Jun and Maple.
And also they have the same model size. Well, alright, let's check this out. There is a pretty good amount of Ezreal poke that goes down between ult and everything else, but I don't know about using that. Why are we using Junjia, buddy, why are we using this onto a Leona?
Cyclone onto the backline, finds Maple but doesn't find Betty. Azure and PSG will disengage the fight. Jun has to flash the wall, but he's locked.
I was just doing a good job of zoning though.
Bin now in the pit trying to battle against Jun and Maple, but BLG.
Okay, just leave PSG. You got what you wanted. You got what you wanted. Just walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Yes.
Azure has the flash, has the slicing maelstrom, but PSG decide that's enough. We got Soul Point, and now perhaps the Baron as well.
The patience from PSG there was so beautiful. Their setup was way, way better. With Aja,
they got the kill on Dejan too. It's really huge. They can do the Baron. It's pretty good play by PSG.
Such an amazing possible flank that they all have to run. They get completely
good zoning by Aja.
And BLG just end up separated. PSG, they're on Baron. In the last team fight, they divide and conquer. Can they just get this objective?
Bin uses the Hextech there to see the information. Woody diving in, and he stops Elp from putting on the bullet time. The slicing maelstrom on the back line as well. Knight's in the pit, but Maple puts him in the dirt. Bin now going in for a little bit more, but kind of like the counter strike onto Maple. Another is down on his PSG.
Man, how does PSG lose this? Like, surely they just get Hextech Soul and win, right?
Around them. Divide and conquer again, right over the wall, and Maple Maple comes up huge. They get the Baron and they
You can see the desperation from BLG. They're like, we have to win this even though our jungler's down.
But it's so well played by Aja. He never used this storm in the last fight. He
Yeah,
just
the
stood
fact
there
that he still had his
menacing
Kennen
with
ult
his
is so
moves. And then,
big.
as he comes into this, interrupts Elk. The weirding doesn't do enough. Betty barely survives
Oh,
the backline
it's
as
so
well.
clutch, man. Aja has played so well these last two objectives.
Wasn't quite far enough away from where Elk was ulting to stop the crashdown hitting him. As soon as Woody hit him with the crashdown, he gets bounced back by that wall. We're talking a matter of like 2 centimeters there.
Remember that this matchup at MSI was very close, guys. This was a 5-gamer.
Of the Aurora ultimate, on the edge of the Misfortune ultimate. So much for PSG off the back of this, though. Now they can just take over. They're at 3 dragons. They have control of the entire Rift right now.
And they got the stun as well onto Elk, who has the flash and will use it to dash away.
Okay, good. Just take that W. Take the turret. Play it slow. PSG been so good at playing it slow. Okay, you're out. You're out. You're out. You're taking another tier 2. This is all fine. It's all fine. Walk away. Just walk away. Ooh.
Between the uprights of On and Knight, but still clips Shun's heals. The Baron remains for the next minute and 20 seconds for PSG, but right now they've called off the push.
And there's 3 items on towards Betty. He's going to be able to reset.
Ah, we love this. We love this from PSG.
Powered by AWS, the bottom of your screen. PSG have been playing
there. Getting have the Baron
for a lot of push.
Yeah.
Oh,
here.
Cyclone again from Shun. True Shot Rush coming out from Betty as well. Between Worlds, Shun just locked up in it. He'll flash across. On falling low, 200 HP on him now as Betty looks to open up. Fate sealed, the slicing Maelstrom coming in too. Shun's down, Bin's down, On's
wow.
down.
How the fuck do they lose this, guys?
Left alive. Can they defend against PSG? The TP is going to come in from Azure.
Like, it's so clutch that they are able to get those kills, and they can transition now just straight into the Drake, right? Vision control over Drake.
One inhibitor seems to be the prize PSG get for winning that fight.
They get an inhib too. It's a good game by PSG, guys. They're playing well.
They will retreat.
They have plenty of time too to recall and reset after inhib. This is great.
For the PCS #1 seed.
It is not just PSG pushing BLG. They are dismantling this team. The only good BLG play was actually the mess up of PSG Red Invade. That's the only benefit they actually had in this whole game. PSG have been running it from head to toe. Let's take another look at this.
Junjia's Sedge ults have been pretty bad this game, though.
Not able to find the full chase here, and because On was on the other side, this Ezreal just takes them down. They have no further openings here. No possibility of even escape there on the side of BLG. They're just so far behind now. Completely out-itemized. They're the ones that have to pull out the surprise play.
I think a lot of people forget that this was behind. Oh, hang on, TP
behind. Woody's going to be engaged on here, but On is now in the meat grinder. Maple goes in with the base sealed, and Azure is just waiting for his opportunity to open up. Bin's taken one. The slicing Maelstrom will find another, though. Betty being chased out by Shun. He'll flash away. Shun dies to Betty, and Betty survives. Bin diving in onto Maple.
Oh my god, how does this happen?
There on the side of BLG.
Okay, BLG gets priority over the objective.
Completely out-itemized. They're the ones that have to pull out the surprise play.
Drake spawns. They check it. They start the Drake here. Ooh, Woody has to pull off. He actually redirects his Hex Flash. On comes over the wall.
On here, but On is now in the meat grinder. Maple goes in with the base sealed, and Azure is just waiting for his opportunity.
Such a clutch Zonia's by Night.
To open up. Bin's taken one. The slicing Maelstrom.
Elk's positioning here is really good. Because Elk is playing around the vision that they have, that he knows they have in that brush because it's pink warded. So he's able just to reposition away from the Kennen. Kennen has no flash to engage. Yeah, Elk's positioning was really good there.
Maple, who can unbind his soul and then dash back. Ginger trying to keep the dragon aggro for now. Maple put into the dirt by Bin. PSG still have 2 alive. Elk's going to try and keep the dragon aggro, but Betty can do a lot of work from a lot of range right now. Elk has the bullet time coming up in 7 seconds.
If Kennen has flash, then maybe they win that fight.
The jungle. Elk there makes it rain. Bin going to try and get for the reset. Elk still full HP. Bullet time, no flash, no... Well, it has the flash, but no cleanse. Bin TP's in. Junja's looking for it. And Elk.
Oh no, Elk's reflexes, man. Ah, oh, it's just barely not low enough to smite. Heartbreak. Heartbreak.
Dragon Soul. Oh my goodness, he wins the 1v1 with Maple on Yone. Oh my god.
Will take the he's in himself back up by Bin. Betty, and Betty survives. Bin diving in onto Maple, who can unbind his soul and then dash back. Junja trying to keep the dragon aggro for now. Maple put into the dirt by Bin.
It's huge that Bin wins that and is able to TP back in.
Dragon aggro, but Betty can do a lot of work from a lot of range right now. Elk has the bullet time coming up in 7
He's trying to heal off of
Junja
Krugs using
trying to heal
Q.
himself back up in the jungle. Elk there makes it rain. Bin gonna try and get for the reset.
I love the idea here by
Bullet time,
PSG.
no flash, no. Well, it has the flash, but no cleanse. Bin TP's in. Junja's looking.
Oh, dude, Elk's reaction here.
And Elk finds one.
So clutch, man.
Find another great cleanse from Elk. Junja able to survive, but Bin will take the Drake, the soul, not quite, but PSG.
Bin wins those! Oh my goodness, he wins the 1v1 with Maple on Yone up on the top side of the map. He teleports back. He's actually able to finish it off and deny the Dragon Soul. BLG will not go out.
It's a great
without
true
a
shot
fight.
barrage to open
This
things
was
up.
such a close fight, though. Maple ends up getting on towards 2 here, but they.
If Elk just gets out of range right there, barely, of the Yone ult, and then he plays around the vision. Aja has, if Aja has flash here, man.
Ends up getting on towards 2 here, but they not able to catch Elk out with that initial ult from Maple. Aja, this ultimate doesn't connect onto many people either. It's a little bit too early. And
Yeah, I agree
Elk
with
is in
Dagda. Ult's a little bit too
where he's
early,
able
but
to
also he doesn't have
confusing
flash.
away from the crucial members of PSG. Bin finishes off Maple, and Elk is just chasing out PSG from this pit. It's a couple of just
lying in wait over the top of this wall, trying to get the burst damage, but not only is it a deny of the Dragon Soul,
Edge is putting it lightly here with this top side.
and in the overall game too, I still actually put the necessary pressure on the Ezreal, and up until that point, you know, he had.
Now, Prison has no flash, has the exhaust, will get away for now. The world's between is Woody trying to escape, but he's just burst out mile wide. On
MF is 4 items now, too.
with the glacial prison, has no flash, has the exhaust, will get away for now. The world's between is Woody trying to escape, but he's solar flare was a mile
You
wide.
can't go into a choke point here.
On gets caught
Versus
with
the amount of
glacial
AoE
prison,
damage
has
and
no
CC that they
flash, has
have.
The exhaust will get away for now. The world's between is Woody trying to escape, but he's just burst
Aurora
out by
ult
Elk.
too good there.
There's 4 items coming to the fore, but BLG
MF ult.
a cyclone onto Junja, who has the flash as well. The
There it
bullet
is.
time comes out, the slicing maelstrom as Bin is trying to dive across them. Betty and Maple, the only 2 left alive.
I don't know, man. I think
BLG.
Elk is the real hero of this
Maple will
game.
flash, but the bullet still finds his back. BLG win the fight.
PSG were so close, but these last few fights, BLG have been able to outmatch them in the team fights, and now it's barren for the LPL first seed.
Huge pick right there. Maybe it was a caster curse. BLG looking like they are on the warpath. Another objective.
BLG has some really good individual players, guys. That's why they are #1 seed in China.
Objective and champion going the way of BLG. Huge comeback swing available
Into the fight.
Too bad. PSG had a really good early game, guys, I thought.
Get it, because I was just trying to find a way for a flank. You know, this Kennen.
They played a really nice slow
constantly looking
game.
for the devastating flank, but On has his exhaust ready, so goal #1 for BLG, flank.
Still
Pressure on this top side with a minute left.
Junja able to dodge away from On, puts the glacial prison back in him. Down to half HP, the mystic shots from Betty, and On is off! Betty now locked in the pit with Knight, but do you really want to be locked in there with him? The TP in from Azure as well, looking for that slicing mushroom. Remember, there's no exhaust
Doesn't
as
get the
well,
flank. They
because
also
On
ward
is
him.
down, no
They're
flash
looking for
for
this
Azure,
Kennen the whole
but the
time.
take up.
The thing about playing
Soul on the
Kennen into
cards for
LPL
PSG
teams,
if
they're
they
so
can find
used to
a
it, man.
team behind
Kennen's
like
such a
Bin,
big pick
and
over
they're
there.
looking for the pincer movement, PSG. Enough Bin diving onto Woody, and that's 2. Betty forced away, has the dash away from Shun, and Bin is just doing so much work on
He gets the job done, and
for now.
Good comeback, though, from BLG. Shout out to Elk. Big time carry.
Still survives. PSG wiped.
This is the full VOD of the matchup between BLG and PSG.
I'll be right back, guys. Okay.
Let's dive into the picks and bans.
Be feeling great, you know.
Taking away the Ari again. Now we're taking away Yone because Mabel was too good. And Aurora ban. Skarner, first pick. No Nico for Knight. It's the great Knight banning.
And this could work out very well when you've already got, I mean, not a huge amount of ultimates.
I guess they're going to play Kennen again.
Out of the meta for a little while, or at least we thought it would with some
Pick I really like is Kaisa can struggle because that steadfast presence can't block the isn't it?
always play.
It's really hard to use Poppy W to stop Kaisa ult, though. It's really hard to do that.
Fully surprised to see it, but it's not something that I was expecting to.
The Xayah goes hard here because they're running a potential dive competition. This is interesting. Knight is historically a Jace player, so it makes sense. Especially playing it into Smolder if they want to opt into a matchup where they might be able to just safely farm up the Jace. Very good poke into execute with the Kaisa.
Contributing to that death fund again.
It's like when a poke damage that's there, then the immediate follow up from SH1.
So top Poppy is a Jax counter this time. Instead of the Kennen.
Essential BLG. Like in the regular season in the LPL, they just have really slow starts to series and then start to ramp it up.
And that's why the best of ones just not their thing.
It's just curse for them, right?
But yeah, I think there is a bit of a meme there, but it has still been a very slow adaptation from BLG coming into Worlds and also then coming into what the meta has been. So I think BLG definitely have a lot if they manage to beat PSG going through, but
it's played
like a and they play these super long range
lane. It's like a
kind of going as expected here for BLG with their top pushing, with their bottom side pushing as well. Elkanon kind of nicely getting Betty and Woody under.
Have you guys seen the Mike Flanagan Netflix show Midnight Mass? I'm watching that now. I really enjoyed some of Mike Flanagan's other shows, and I just hadn't watched Midnight Mass yet.
A little bit annoying,
but it's pretty fun.
Junglers might meet up on that Scuttle Crab regardless.
Ginger's already pathing towards it. Shun actually looking for the mid lane instead, deciding he doesn't want to.
I really love The Haunting of Hill House, but Midnight Mass pretty banger so far.
That Elk was looking for a cheetah reset to get his cull to then move up as well. It looks like Ginger might try and sneak behind Bin with that wave not in the best of states for the BLG top laner.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell on the moment of the comms too. Bin backing off after he killed off those last couple minions, because the Skarner is one of the few junglers that actually still loves, well...
I mean,
have I seen the fall of the House of Usher? Yes.
Almost dies, but he'll be okay. Meanwhile, in the
obviously, I did a review of it with Doa on the Last Free Nation Culture channel. Check it out in Twitch chat. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel.
This is dangerous though. Ginger trying to get his.
Yeah, I mean, so Fall of the House of the Usher is fun, and like I enjoyed him like weaving together all the Edgar Allan Poe stories, but you know, it was a little bit ham-fisted thematically, where it's like, did you know opioids killed all the people? It's a little much in that regard.
Camps right before Shun arrives.
It was camp though. I enjoyed, you know, it is one of those things where you get that perverse pleasure of seeing how everybody dies, which is really fun.
No longer has that summoner for the next 5 minutes.
So Ginger reading correctly that Shun.
So I think it was like I enjoyed watching it as, but it's like revenge porn, you know.
Skarner way less threatening on a dive or a gank even now. Shun
it's not as good as Haunting of Hill House. Haunting of Hill House is insanely good.
Off to a nice start in this matchup.
And again, he's got lanes that want to fight. He's got the flash advantage over enemy jungle. It just seems primed right now.
It definitely is. And I think that the big thing that you have to look at as well, Kobe, is the bot lane. Look how far Betty has fallen behind Elk because of the way that wave was frozen, because of the fact that Shun came across. Like, Betty and Woody have actually struggled to unfreeze this lane. Now they'll be able to do it. Ginger path towards his Grug, so he can be there first, but it's going to be about, you know, 200, 300 gold at the end of all things. And that's with Elk having got a reset to get his cull.
Yeah, and again, he can continue to freeze here once more, so this doesn't have to realistically crash, because you do have the Nautilus coming up behind. Can he hold it up? Yeah, should be able to just hold it up from the wave. On is now reset, getting his own boots, and you've got the Sejuani still in the vicinity, so they're moving the Skarner here to show his face onto bot side, just to try and bluff, essentially, threat that they can crash the wave, but BLG not having any of it on, essentially faking that his jungler is in behind him and kind of calling Ginger, saying, are you really going to try and play this when you have no flash?
I love that point, especially because On does this so much.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
Where he fakes that someone is behind him, you know, even not in front of his own tower. A lot of the times, you know, walking into enemy territory. If you can get free vision or free plays like that, it's so beneficial to both you and your jungler. Of course,
George is handshaking,
allows your
farming in the
jungler
mid lane.
freedom on the other side of the map too. But here we are on the grubs, and that will be number 1.
Shun has to use the smite for it though. Knight's coming across. Maple working his way towards the river as well.
PSG should be doing this. This feels bad.
Chucks out another rock.
Aja is 6 though, so I guess you got that going for you.
Ginger using his smite to secure the second grub, or the first for his team, but the second in totality on here. Woody joining the battle as well. Bin still keeping that grub aggroed. Shun has his smite back up and can get the Scuttle Crab and the grub as well.
But that was kind of what you want to see from BLG, this slow pace when it comes to the fight. So then you have to try and back up his PSG, because without Woody there, they don't really have a big engage tool. Maple had already used his ultimate on the wave, so didn't have that poke to answer for a Knight kind of chipping away at him. And you can see how much respect PSG give.
And they pick this up. Looks like should not be. Well, actually, Skarner heading back over. We'll see if he just clears out.
I think he's just going to his camps.
They're just pushed in all lanes. Betty just hit 6. Elka is like half a level up, so they're just able to clear this really easily, take both objectives. They have prio. I mean, the Chinese teams have been doing, oh my god, well about playing into the Skarner and like taking advantage of really pushing, you know, fast pushing into Skarner, or a Skarner, I mean Smolder.
And to your point, Medic, this is what Prime BLG looks like. This movement from On, constantly shifting around the map, holding positions so then he can get out and work his magic. And now Maple is running, hoping that he can find some sort of way to teleport out of this jungle, but short of magic or a miracle, I think he might be done for.
And he gets clipped as well by the accelerated shock blast, meaning an execute is no longer
part out of this jungle. This movement from On, constantly shifting
around. What are they even do? What is Smolder doing here, dude? Maple, I love you, buddy, but why are we autoing a tower? We're greeting for a plate when our Skarner is dying.
Holding positions so then he can get out and work his magic. And now Maple
what is this?
Hoping that he can find some sort of way to teleport out of this jungle, but
Maple, no.
Short of magic or a miracle, I think he might be done for.
And he gets clipped as well by the accelerated shock blast, meaning an execute is no longer an option for Maple. Shun should be able to chase him down, who dash across the wall with a flap. Knight still chasing here. Glacial Prison used.
They use a Glacial Prison just to make sure Knight gets the kill.
Is going extinct alongside his buddies. Knight will secure the kill, his second of the game.
He was able to get 1 turret plate before he had to run into enemy territory and was chased all the way through.
It's a good death, good death.
A couple extra smolder stacks on his way down, at the very least. But yeah,
a little bit. That's a little up on this pressure. The fact that again On is free hard. He's controlling that wave on bot side, sets up for Elk. He's going to take over to level 6 fairly soon and can start to move up towards Void Grubs in a little bit. That's a little cheeky.
He just denies the wave. That's cute.
Denying Bin access to this wave, but now has no ultimate.
Gets on a plate for it as well.
Shun wants to try and move up here into this top side, so yeah, I think he rightfully kind of backs away.
Oh no! Okay. I got really worried there.
Gets the plate, denies some extra minions there, and they're going to need that money.
I will say, if I'm trying to funnel my gold on this PSG comp, engage from Shun. Maple down again.
You got to point it somewhere else. Yeah.
Try and get some on Maple, who's about 700.
Maple used his E to go forward and then die. Shout out to Maple, looking fucking terrible on the Smolder.
Again, and Shun joins Knight on the scoreboard.
And a great gank in the mid lane, managing to get that flash onto Maple, denying him any sort of way to get out of that. And even the ultimate a little bit late from Maple, so he doesn't get the heal. And now for something like the Void Grubs, Maple has no real access, so that should be going to BLG's way as well.
This is exactly the game I was envisioning for Shun when we kept talking about, oh, it's Dream for him. He got the Sejuani, he's got all these lanes I want to fight. This is him definitely executing quite well on it.
This is also very similar to how MSI went between these two teams. You know, really close sort of games where BLG looked like they're on the ropes, PSG obviously picking up a couple there. But then game 5 was a one-sided stomp. You know, it was very, very strong from BLG. So it's interesting to see that sort of back and forth, and interesting to see how BLG kind of wake up. Kobe, do you want to elucidate why he may have gone this?
Well, it's obviously because of the world song, Heavy Lies the Crown, and it's a crown.
Also, if you can't get
ARAM, but Kobe, do you want to elucidate why he may have gone this?
Well, it's obviously because of the world song, Heavy Lies the Crown, and it's a crown.
Also, if you can't get a murder book, you need a murder crown.
Oh, as we see, Shun getting caught up here. PSG trying to fight it. Bing going in with the counter-strike. Woody misses, but gets the charm, doesn't get the knock-up, and now he needs to get the hell out of there. Depth charge onto Junja.
God, flash forward right as he gets knocked up from the Nautilus ult.
Under the ground, Knight finds
Oh, this Smolder is just terrible. But again, the Chinese team's been doing very well about accelerating versus Smolder compositions and not really giving them a chance. I thought Top Esports played super well into Smolder.
Manages to escape the 2v1 in the bot lane.
Just constantly pressuring the lanes, taking towers, not giving Smolder a chance, like getting huge gold bleeds before Smolder can get stacked.
1-for-1 on trades for ultimates and flashes used there, with Woody investing everything. Maybe that can open up a place for PSG to attack. It's just
blows down. They're going to land the dredge line onto Woody, who dashes back with a battle dance and escapes. Well played.
Side lanes with Knight and Beam, because while we focus stack up in PSG's questions.
As a side note, Bin for a little bit of a fight here. Should be able to force Azure out of. Azure now on the front line. BLG will disengage. Goes in with the counter strike. Knight dives in onto Maple. The quickness coming out as they look to dive onto Knight. Mom is called. Azure now on the front line. BLG will disengage. But yeah, as a side note, you know, every fight is like something's gonna happen. Nah, it's fine. Hubris. Basically what it does, it gives you lethality and attack damage, and then if a champion you have done damage to dies, you get a big burst of extra AD for the next 90 seconds, and that can sack up as well, right? So you get stronger through the course of the fight, through your hubris, which is probably why the item was named that way.
Makes sense.
Yeah. He used to make little golden statues in the fountain, and then that made me sad. I love the little golden statues. As Junja tries to hover around this bot side to keep this tower alive. Maple's here as well. Shun is going to meet him. Impale lands onto one. The dredge line short from on. Elks, though, still looking.
Any bit of gold that PSG can get at this stage in the game could be very big for their dream of team fighting their way out of it. And Shun is going to be able to execute no problem. Does get all the way into enemy territory. So no further benefit gain there. But still, even being able to Skarner ult under tower, find up one kill. Yeah, you could also point out that these funnels, Medic, are not in the correct places. This one went into
the stacking is very slow on Maple this game.
Okay. Right.
You know, a lot of the games that we've seen the Smolder mid have been into Yone, where it's easier for him in a range versus melee matchup to farm stacks, but against the J-Seer, he really hasn't had that opportunity.
That he offers is a little bit terrifying for PSG.
Knight gets the push out of top side. I'm going to group up around the Rift Herald right now. Bin doesn't have a TP. PSG are looking for that fight. Junja very tanky with the Zeke's convergence. Maple still stacking up, sneezing all over BLG. Woody looking for that flank, has the quickness, has the flash in a couple of seconds. The engage with the Glacial Prison.
I stole it.
Featherstorm coming out from Betty, quickness from Woody. They're looking for On, but the depth charge will lock him up for a second. On now, sacrificed by BLG. As PSG
Bin pinging bot tower, they're just going to try and cross map.
Jun being chased out by Aja, but doesn't quite land the stun into the wall. Junja still looking for Elk, who has the cleanse.
Oh, nice ult by Junja. And the E, too. Nice.
Is that Knight is guilty. His hubris has been his downfall as Junja puts him 6 feet under.
There's no way BLG had the correct timer.
That's a good slow chase by PSG.
Like. You know, they kind of walk into this, and even if they had gotten the smite there, this is huge for
BLG mixed had a mixed call here because Bin wanted to. He was pinging bot turret. He wanted to keep split pushing, and his team overplayed if he wasn't TPing.
PSG, if they can close the distance, are going to be so much stronger. And we get to
Do you think Fnatic can beat Weibo?
BLG group up to try
no.
and force on towards the Rift Herald.
I mean, they can. Look, it's probably like 65-35. Weibo's not a good team, but
disaster for them as Aja TPs in. On goes down, but trying to even get away from this. They think they're safe under the tower. Maybe they can start to poke back, but the front line of PSG is so tanky. Elk only has the static shiv, and it's the turn onto Knight that really seals the deal.
That's why we've been warning about this PSG team fight. You know, fully grouped. They're the ones with the few seconds extra of teleport advantage, and they make it work. That is not a mistake that you kind of give lightly here.
And even the silver for BLG.
Across as well, he's met with Knight The accelerated shot blast doing a lot of work on, looking for that turret. TP coming in from PSG as they look to collapse. On not tanking the tower yet, has that concussive blow. Steadfast presence coming out. There's the quickness. It's only onto the tank so far, but onto the first target. Glacial Prison coming down as well with Slow Maple for a second, but Junja's here to join the Barney, to join the fight. PSG find another bin.
Does Ben know he has TP?
Mid-lane tower, but
Serious
there's still a couple
question.
of seconds before he can get on it. Betty's going to try and answer him. He has the demolish and 5 grubs. It will be enough to take the turret.
But it's the exact same thing again. BLG not respecting how quickly PSG can get across the map. They reset on bot.
Archer goes for Elk. Gets the cleanse out of him in exchange for a splash. Junja and Woody, though, can look for this. And Elk back in a precarious situation. Junja just go for the kite.
Nice ult from Elk.
Out. TP behind by Bin as well. The impale hits on to Elk. Bin looking to do what it did in game 1, but the verdict is that he can't get in there.
I don't know about that poppy ult. That may have actually helped them.
But they burn both of Elk's summoners.
The biggest thing too, the objective on the map is already had. It would still be huge, but PSG another team fight victory, and that one was again off another teleport from them. Let's see them try and just force their way in. They do have to face check, but they can do that because they're so tanky.
And they know Knight's top, and they know that Elk is bot lane, right? So Knight still has the TP, but right now PSG get control of the river with their numbers advantage. Betty's going to be able to push out mid, can open up on that tower as well. BLG going to send Elk across to try and answer the pressure in mid.
I don't think BLG are going to fight this though. They're just looking for that tier 2 and top, trying to accelerate this chase even further. PSG not really sure how they want to approach this. Aja has his teleport up, but he's still going to run there. Terra goes down, and now if this Poppy shows on the wave, Jace TP's in.
There's the TP in. Azure can TP as well. Will answer with one of his own. BLG moved up as 4 for now. Bin's going to join them. Junja trying to get in towards the pit to take the Drake. Unlocked up. The Blade Caller coming back as well, and Junja will land the smite. But Woody goes down first. Sun and Bin, the next 2 targets.
This is pretty bad for BLG, honestly. Like, this Smolder is eventually going to come online, and that steal is really huge for PSG to slow this game down.
Had the opportunity to do so. Junja can look for a little bit more. Chucks a rock across the wall and hits. Knight in his back. PSG trying to open up.
Like, this is a 5-1-1, Jace.
Can look for a little bit more. Chucks a rock across the wall and
Is Jace even good? Because, like, that's how much damage he does to a Smolder when he's got 5 kills. What happens if he doesn't have 5 kills? You know what I mean? I'm not sure Jace is even good.
Yeah, I mean, Jace could try and poke, but you've got 2 fat tanks in front of you. Can't really get the damage around them. Forces the flash with just the raw Skarner ultimate, and PSG, another one.
And the Dragon off the back as well. Junja with these smite steals has been exceptional this series, and getting the better of Shun once again. This is where BLG TP Knight in, but because Knight wasn't there, the poke damage isn't really enough, so PSG still healthy enough to go for the immediate engage. On too far forward, he gets knocked up by Woody, and the steal comes through from Junja. On falls, and now BLG trying to play this slow. Kite back, look for the poke, look for the damage, but as Kobe was just saying, Aja and Junja are just too tanky at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they like locked up.
Night after the game said Jace was bad pick in the interview. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. It just feels like if you can't, if you hit the Smolder dead on like this, and it only does like 15% of his health. I'm sure he had bone plating up there that proc, but it's like, the longer this game goes on, you're not going to be dealing damage to Poppy and Skarner, so I think it's bad. I don't think Jace can be as good right now, even though it's a Knight classic.
That we've traditionally seen a lot of Skarners. It's been the Zeke's convergence into Warmogs. Warmogs is one, great against all the poke, but the Zeke's in this instance as well just helps keep everyone slowed and close to you. And when PSG are trying to chase down these members of BLG, it's exactly what you need. So great decision making from Junja on this build for this series, for this game.
Yeah, the Warmogs, I agree with Dagda's analysis. Warmogs is really good here into the poke as well.
2 as well for Knight, or 2.5 with the last Whisper in his inventory. Maple still sacking up a little bit slow as the hook goes down onto Junja. There's the double impale into the grand entrance, but the charm coming back with the quickness into the Blade Caller. Look at the CC.
Nice job by Betty. Oh my God. Oh no!
Somehow survives through the burn through CC. Look at the suppression on BLG.
He actually flashes here so that he gets the root on the pullback, but they just don't have enough damage, barely. Oh my God, he was so close to being complete domination. I see the T1 food documentary. No, we'll watch it after this. Sorry, guys.
So close but they fumble it there. Elk able to survive, BLG able to survive and fight them off.
Oh, it's 25 minutes long. Oh, no, we're not watching that. I don't have time for that today, guys. We'll watch it at a different time.
Because going for these sorts of plays just sets up for PSG to play with their strong front line. The damage coming through from Woody is insane here in these close quarter fights because he gets so much damage from the feather pullback and the great
looks good though.
Betty, but look at the health, the shields.
This guy looks like he's almost as good at cooking as me.
I mean, even the Rebel from, like, I don't know. That's insane.
There was one auto that went onto Shun instead.
I don't like. He's so
to red buff as well.
I mean, even the Rebel.
So sad.
Like, I don't know.
Go for those sorts of plays in a series like
It's only going to get worse though for BLG, you would assume.
So many feathers down.
Maple's so late on his stacks.
Blade callers just needed a tiny bit more.
Behind.
Let Monty cook. I agree. Let Monty stop watching esports and cook for you instead.
Knight the first target. Azure locks him up for a second. On going forward as well. Azure still trying to chase Knight out. Bin here to join the party as On flashes away. Keeper's verdict on Bin is that he needs to come back in a couple of moments. He's going to TP behind them here, but perhaps PSG have a moment in the 4v5 to really open up. Mon comes down, the Featherstorm used as well, but Bin finds the 4-man stun on the back line. El cleanses away the blade call here, but perhaps PSG have a going forward as well. Azure still trying to chase Knight out. Bin here to join the party as On flashes away. Keeper's
They think they have this because of Keeper's verdict, but remember, Maple is still about 10 stacks, 15 stacks away from getting his upgraded Q. And they're just doing way too much damage. Great TP by Bin, by the way. That is an immense TP by Bin. He gets Keeper's verdict, but he actually gets into a better position here. This is such a good TP, man.
In a couple of moments, he's going to TP behind them here, but perhaps PSG have a moment in the 4v5 to really open up. Mon comes down, the Featherstorm used as well, but Bin finds the 4-man stun on the back line. El cleanses away the blade caller route, and once again, it's Gigabin absolutely styling on board.
But there is no reason to there is no reason to force. Oh, look at this. This is the tragedy, guys. Look at this. 224. Why are we taking this fight? It's a minute until the next mountain Drake. We could have just gotten to 225 and then fought the next one. PSG, you were so close.
To the non-weapon of Bin, but he's an absolute weapon wielded by BLG in this fight.
Why are they forcing this fight?
Elk not here. Knight the first target. Azure.
They don't get the stun.
On going forward as well. Azure still trying to.
On flashes the old. You just got to get out now. You just got to get out. You got to get out. Got to get out. Got to get out.
Needs to come back in a couple of moments.
Such a good TP though from Bin. They're also focusing Sejuani instead of dealing with Elk, who's free firing. Oh, PSG, you could have won this 2-0. BLG not looking great though, honestly.
Trouble in the last few team fights, but here's a look at how this one actually started out, and it was a little bit more.
Dude, the 224 stacks just kills me.
The positioning here through River, and they do get an ejection onto Bin, but he just says, "Fine, I will teleport back for the flank angle."
And the thing is, it's so
Such a
hard
good
to start
TP.
these fights without Woody, but this is where Bin comes in over the back.
Oh, gets the beautiful 3-man stun. Oof.
Feather pull as well from the Zaya, and then I think even maybe.
Oh, I missed T1G2. It's okay, baby. Robbie Dauber, you can go back. It's on my YouTube. Just click the live tab. It's there for you, waiting in all its glory.
Do not want to fight BLG once more.
And the important thing for the Poke Comp is to be ahead of the curve in terms of items, in terms of damage, and that's exactly where BLG are now. 6,000 gold, their lead. They have 3 items on Knight. They have 2.5, almost 3 on Elk, who is going to continue to rattle down damage with those Void Seekers, and they can start to siege up and actually really utilize their composition to its greatest effect, which is doing exactly that onto Woody and Junja and just constantly putting damage into the backs of PSG.
And every comp with a Bin Jax is just a Bin Jax comp as well. Especially if you have a Sejuani, but he's over 2,000 gold ahead now as well, working on the Frozen Heart, so he can be a tank in the middle.
On looking for the hook here onto Azure, goes in with the depth charge as well. He's impaled, the quickness on the backline, but already BLG have taken 1 kill. It's 1 for 1 so far. On and Azure falling. Betty having to pop the Featherstorm. Bin is Bin, baby. Already we see Elk killing off Betty. Bin looking
Man,
for
I
a
love
little bit
watching
more as
Bin
Woody
play. What a
dashes
great
out of
player.
the fight. Bin wasn't even really needed, just forces PSG away. Now the tier 2 in the bot lane, the target for BLG.
It's a nice attempt from PSG, but Bin on the flank sets up for BLG to take the fight.
Goes back in with the counter strike.
No way.
Who needs a way out? Maple has hit that execution threshold, and looks like PSG are trying to collapse onto Bin. No flash for him, no way out. You gotta feel.
Oh my God.
Who needs a way out?
Unbelievable.
This is Bin. That execution threshold.
Unbelievable.
Like trying to collapse onto Bin. No flash for him, no way out. You gotta feel.
He's just maximizing the value of the Sundered Sky. He gets 2 procs right there back to back. Oh my God, this guy.
Put him in the trash bin. Does exactly what you need him to do.
This fucking guy.
Situation. For a moment, I thought there was
Unbelievable.
no way out for him, but who's locked in where with whom?
When there's no way out, look for the way in.
I mean, he's a boxer, right? So he just has to dodge everything, but he still gets hit by everything. Maybe it's more the Homer Simpson approach to boxing, where he just absorbs everything. The Sundered Sky.
Well, he just has his counter strike coming up the right time, manages to lifesteal tank through,
and there's just no real.
and then gets the stun. He gets multiple Sundered Sky procs.
The Maple goes down. Look how close he was to the execute there. So close to that line.
Maple knows.
What can you do but laugh at the end?
Time even, but Knight is locked against the wall, and Bin. It was a very close game in the early game until FlyQuest really began to take it away. They're still looking for more here, though. As
Nice flash ult, or old flash rather.
The depth charge, but Knight is locked against the wall, and Bin, even he can't rectify this situation, can't bail them out. The bait caller back onto On, who has to flash away himself.
Bin gets 2 Sundered Sky procs right there, then stuns.
The battle, a double counter strike as the engage goes on to Azure, but BLG have only found one so far. Betty's on that front line, no feather storm for him.
Oh, Bin! What a god tier series, man.
For a second, but he makes you believe that Jax is the most OP pick in the game. It's Bin again to clean it up for BLG. Bin.
Can you ult flash? Yeah.
Joining the as well as stopped by the depth charge, but Knight is locked against the wall here though. As Ginger goes in with the impale, the game until FlyQuest really began to take it away. They're still looking for more here though. As
Can you ult? I think you can. Am I wrong? That was a flash ult, but I think you can ult flash. That was a flash ult though.
Knight is locked against the wall, and Bin, even he can't rectify this situation, can't bail them out. The bait caller back onto On, who has to flash away himself. Elk now joining the battle, a double counter strike as the engage goes on to Azure, but BLG have only found one so far. Betty's on that front line, no feather storm for him, and Bin finds it again.
That's so crazy.
I doubted him for a second,
from Bin. Wow.
Believe that Jax is the most OP pick in the game.
Of the World's Championship, but for BLG, it's only one more step on what is a long road ahead of them.
BLG are looking to get to 2-2 to challenge for the quarterfinals, to continue to level up.
All right, guys. So we're not going to watch that T1 documentary today because I have to spend time with my family on the weekend or something. Fnatic versus Weibo tomorrow. TL versus Gam tomorrow. And then we'll just keep rolling, right? Every day we'll be doing the VOD reviews. So follow this channel. Subscribe to me on YouTube. If you missed it, just go watch it on YouTube in the live tab. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.